All right, here we go. Players are ready. DC versus Exit. This is going to be map 1 of round 1 of our upper bracket. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5. Here with this quick cup for you. Having a little bit of fun on a weeknight. Got the club going up on a weeknight as always. DC not liking the fact that he's being streamed, so I'm definitely going to be extremely biased towards Exit. If anyone in chat thinks that I'm not being biased enough, and you think maybe I'm not favoring Exitnextright enough, definitely feel free to let me know. I'm always open to feedback and criticism. I can be even more of a homer. I can always work on that. I'm also working on being more of like a pro wrestling style announcer. Oh, nice shot there, Exitnextright. Just pushing DC around the corner there, just waiting for him, had him lined up. Oh, and DC charging at him with the piston, trying to get the free return kill, but Exit takes him down, falling down. It's a quick 2-0 lead, and that belt should finally go into his hands. They've been positioning back and forth for it. DC actually hits him with a nice combo to knock him off of it. Completely negates it, and DC now actually finds himself with a health lead and a bead on that 100 armor. So Exitnextright, despite giving his body up for that belt, ends up getting the worst of that, but nice combo around the corner. I think that's where Exitnextright's biggest advantage will probably come against DC, is that prediction ability. Now DC's pure aim can stand up to pretty much anyone, definitely Exitnextright in particular. Not to say that Exit doesn't have good aim, but I think his relative advantage against DC is going to be up close, going to be like chasing him down with link gun like he was there, predicting him with combos. Exit's combos are up there with anybody's, and I think if he can... Oh, Exitnextright right on cue with the back-to-back combo kills and the teabag. There's no corpse there to teabag. Sorry, DC with the kill and the teabag. But there's no corpse there to teabag. You're just teabagging a puddle. You're just getting your butt wet, dude. Exitnextright answers right back. And what we're going to see in this matchup is those spawn kills, right? Classic erase gameplay. You get one kill, you got to basically take a guess. Just guess where they're going to spawn. There's a pretty decent chance you're going to be right. Maybe 1 in 3 or so chance. Just double those kills, turn 1 into 2. And that's going to be so key in this matchup, where I think these two are, on the whole, relatively evenly matched. Although, like I said, Exitnextright, I think his advantage is going to be the prediction combos just like that, flying through the air. The Batman combo just dropping down onto him. Nowhere DC could go there, and finds himself down by 2, almost down by 3, but nice defensive piston there to get away. Yeah, Wasty, this wasn't like something that was really advertised all that well. It was kind of a last minute thing this afternoon. We were just kind of talking, and people were like, let's see if we can get 8 people. So, you know, a lot of people may be interested in playing in another one. And if people want to do this every week or something, like, oh, nice combo lined up by Exit. Doesn't quite connect, but you saw what he was going for there. And again, I think he's got the prediction advantage over DC, but DC is going to be good when he can get a sniper rifle in his hand and keep Exit at a distance. I think that's really when he can pluck away at this lead. Let's see what he can get in his hands. So far, just a bio rifle. That's the opposite of a sniper rifle, but eventually finds that sniper, and that's where I think DC can do some damage. If he can hit and run, keep his distance. We saw him hit a huge combo right down here on Exit right after he grabbed the belt to neutralize it. Oh, wrong weapon selection there, and DC almost pays for it. He's standing in there. Got a little bit lucky there, but still has plenty of sniper ammo and scoops up that belt. So a bit of a timing mistake there by Exit. Coughs up the belt. DC falls away, and that fadeaway sniper just illustrating again. I think that's what he needs to do if he wants to come back in this one. We're still not even at the halfway point, so plenty of time left for DC. Sorry, am I being too impartial? I need to work on my favoritism. DC flacking himself in the face for good measure, and Exit, the All-American, the good guy, the Hulk Hogan, you know, before Hulk Hogan became the bad guy of this matchup. Exitnextright taking down the oppressive communist regime that DC so clearly embodies. We are at the halfway point. We'll take a quick look at the scoreboard here. DC actually out-damaging Exitnextright, but you can see 3-1 belts, 6-2 vests, and that actually made it be the bigger story here because they basically traded belts. Oh, the nice combo to headshot by Exit, completely annihilating DC's armor, but DC still has 25 when he gets away from that one. So both players have neutralized belts pretty effectively in this one. You see the set shots by DC, and that's, if he can get away with that, if he can get away with giving himself easy, predictive sniper shots, but the mid-air shred by Exit neutralizes DC, sends him back to square one and up by 5, and another rocket to the face. And this is Exit playing his game. He's hitting a couple sniper shots as we see, but really getting up close with the rockets, the prediction combos, rockets and flak up close. Actually haven't seen a ton of Link come out. In fact, I don't know if he's gotten a single Link kill yet. Not really. I'm gonna play around with projectile cam since we're just having fun in this cup tonight. Let me know if it gets too disorienting. It's one of those things that can look really awesome when it works and can look really nauseating when it doesn't. Iska heading out later, dude. Yeah, be sure to check out the VOD. Obviously, will be highlighted on this channel forever or whatever, you know, as long as Twitch will let me save it forever. And then, of course, I'm gonna archive it on my YouTube channel. I do have to wait 24 hours before uploading to YouTube, as all affiliates do. So keep that in mind. But I did also just completely restructure. I reorganized my YouTube channel. I added game-specific playlists and added some extra tags and things to make some things easier. That's kind of an ongoing project of mine, just to make it easier to kind of check through those archives. I'm going to try to work on things like team names and player names. That's obviously a much more labor-intensive process. Meanwhile, DC cutting into that lead with the rocket combo. He's going to be down to 79 HP, but that belt spawns soon. Exit not going to really make a play on it, so... Oh, in fact, Exit making a run with that piston out, but 2 full flaks, the double shred, so Exit being hyper-aggressive there. And again, nothing on the line in tonight's tournament. Basically just practice for everyone, keeping everyone sharp. And of course we are playing with the UT Plus rule set rather than stock, so a little bit of a change. Versus, some of the players that have been playing the UTPL League. Ooh, Flak versus Rocket. Rocket wins. Exit actually pretty low on health after that one, but we'll go on board with him. Back up to 91, and yeah, that's just the experience of Exit. Exit actually has had a lot of experience between the UTPLs and just other cups. He's been playing a ton of duel competitions online. And I think that some of those little subtle movements, some of those instincts being built up over time, definitely showing there. Getting taken down low on HP and backing up and immediately back up to 91. You can definitely coach that, you can definitely practice that. But once it becomes second nature, and you're doing that immediately, and you're just saving those split seconds, that extra couple steps, and you're just right on top of that health without even thinking about it, that becomes such a big advantage. Especially at a high level, when you get to 1 to 2 steps, that can be the difference between getting control of a pickup and running for your life. Nice sort of mid-air dodge there, but DC gonna take him down anyway. We're gonna go back on board with DC. There's some big shots coming out. Rockets have him pinned in the corner. You got to be careful on that lip, but the headshot by DC answering right back. He was in a tough spot there. One more rocket could have turned him into some tomato gravy. Instead, he survives. Nice wall jump to get that rocket up there near the sniper. Didn't get any damage off of it. I like what he was trying to do there. Oh, but Exit jumping in front of him, and there is that Link. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of the Link chase downs by Exit up to this point. You saw DC with that sniper just looking for that last second home run. Couldn't get it. Here's the Enforcer chase down to try to get the revenge. Instead, Exit may get a second kill on top of that one. There it is. DC actually suiciding. I think just hitting a suicide bind. Not going to give Exit the satisfaction. And with 30 seconds to go, there's the concession. Exit going to hold on to this one. One thing to look at, check out that extra damage. DC actually doing more damage as best weapon sniper, not surprising. Actually pretty much a wash when it came to the belts. They did a good job neutralizing each other's belt grabs. 11-5 vest, that's obviously going to be a big boon for Exit, as well as those 1050 armors. So those are the kind of things, like we talked about, in between fights, after you win or lose a fight, immediately backing up, grabbing health, grabbing that extra armor. That makes a big difference. And I think that's what we saw there. DC not shooting that badly, but Exit really doing a good job too, because this is a map on a race where you can really force that distant gameplay, that mid to long range. But Exit, it's actually good practice for him playing against someone like DC that kind of pokes at his, I'm going to say, relative weaknesses. Exitnextright's not a bad sniper by any means, but I think his game is always getting that mid-range, short to mid-range fights. I think that's where he finds his advantages against most players. So playing against someone who wants to do the exact opposite, I think, is good practice, especially on a map like a race where some players can really keep their distance. We've seen guys like Reflex just push people away all game, and how frustrating it can be trying to close that gap. I mean, I can up my mic if it needs to, like I say, oh, here we go, map 2 starting. Here is your countdown. And it's game time, baby. X5 jumping in here on Bone. Of course, the UT3 map coming into UT4, or UT, or whatever you want to call it these days. Not sure how much these players are familiar with this map. I know it's been around for quite a while in this game, so I think at this point, people have probably practiced it. It hasn't been used in a lot of actual tournaments. But I think it's pretty commonly played in practice duels. Here's the 100 armor going to DC, so taking the early lead. This is, I think, a map where you can maybe close the gap a little bit even easier than a race. We'll see if DC can keep his distance. And you see sniper after sniper like that. If DC can keep his accuracy up, he can get away with that in those short to mid-range battles. You can close the gap so quickly, but if he stays on top of him with that sniper, if it's sniper versus flak, sniper versus enforcer at the right ranges, I think DC can still find an advantage. Oh, there is that grab right in front, and Exit. Again, perfect timing, seeing perhaps a little bit of an advantage just from that experience coming into play. I say that, but that said, I mean, DC's been dueling kind of on and off, going all the way back to the UT2K4 days. Certainly no stranger to the game type. But certainly Exit's been playing a little bit more in those competitions. Ooh, playing against some of the highest level opponents that he can, really, I mean, that are available, I suppose. We've seen him play against all sorts of competition in UTPL. And Exit showing himself as someone who could really, at any given map, show up and beat really a lot of different high-level players. So wouldn't be surprised to see him do well in this tournament tonight. Up 4-1 in map 2 against DC. This is going to be double elimination, of course. So I believe that the lower bracket's going to be best of 1, just to keep things moving quickly. Oh, but the mid-air juice by DC. So DC's flak primary is also a big strength of his. Sniper and flak primary, probably his most dangerous weapons. So you kind of have to keep him mid-range. If you can keep that mid-range, you can bounce him around with combos, pull out that link, maybe flak balls. Flak primary to flak primary battle against DC is going to be dangerous. Things like prediction rockets, prediction combos, that's what got Exitnextright the victory in map 1. And there you see the shock duel up close range. Remember, this game has a little bit less air control than UT3, so if you're used to watching this map from the perspective of UT3, some of the movement's going to be different. Some of the different areas you can get trapped in a little bit easier, I think. Certainly being in mid-air is going to be even more dangerous in this game, just because you can't kind of twist yourself around. You don't have that air control that you had in UT3. So all of those jump pads, the lift jumps, things like that, especially in this map, going to feel a little bit different in this game. That said, I mean, we do see DC here trying to make a comeback. Still only about I don't know, not even halfway through this one. Oh, but there's a nice combo by Exit. Again, just predicting DC. So far, just kind of a step ahead of him a lot of these fights. Trying to fight his way back into it. DC got a couple of, went on a few run kill there. Oh, and 3 shocks in a row. You saw the patience by Exit. Had him in midair. Midair, don't care. Aiming straight down. That's not easy. To keep your aim like that on that sort of 3D plane as you're moving down. You see a lot of shots like that in the pit, going up the lifts. And here's the concession by DC. Soon as Exit got the lead, DC knew his goose was cooked. I don't know if you've ever had cooked goose. I don't imagine it tastes that great, but I didn't invent the language, folks. So map 2 going to Exitnextright. I believe that will be the match. So match 1 down. We might actually see some other games still going on. Let's check the hub and see what we can find. Got Phantaci versus Liquidus. Not sure where the other matches might be getting played. Got NYC going on. So Last versus Crytek. Killing versus Savage. Let's go Last versus Crytek. Jump into this one. Yeah, I don't know, Wasty. My guess would be maybe DC doesn't know or just really doesn't like that map in particular. And so maybe he was like, all right, I'll try to push really hard early on. I'll see if I can grab a lead. If it doesn't go my way, I'm gonna nope out of there and go, drink a beer while I wait for the loser bracket to start. Who knows? Oh, I forgot to change. All right, after this map, I'll change my crosshair so it shows up a little bit better for you guys. That red dot just does not transcode very well when you get into streaming. What's up, DC? Appreciate the sub, dude. By the way, that's a good time to ask. Again, those alert notifications is another sound effect I can tweak. If anybody wants to let me know if it sounded fine, if it was too loud, too quiet, definitely let me know. Appreciate the sub. Actually, you're 1 month away from the final sub badge that I can add as an affiliate. They did give me a 2-month sub, so you'll notice now, 2-month sub badge, 3-month sub badges. I just added a new one tonight. That's going to be the Luchador Cat. That's actually the one Demon's rocking there. Still some tweaks to be made. It's a work in progress, but I wanted to get it going for tonight's stream. It's actually Seamus in my Luchador mask. Maybe you'll see me streaming that at some point in the near future. Huh, interesting. So no sound from that. All right, well, that's something I can work on. It definitely played for me, but again, I've completely rerouted my audio inputs, so entirely possible I need to hook something up there. This mic, it's the same mic, but it's just going through, voice meter. There's no filters on it though, so I don't know if there should be any changes to it. I certainly didn't apply any filters in Streamlabs before. Or Streamlabs OBS. I can look at things like compression. Obviously going through voice meter gives me a lot of options for tweaking things like EQ, compression, stuff like that. Huh, interesting. I wonder if voice meter applies something by default. I'm fairly certain it is picking up the actual mic. It isn't picking up something weird like the webcam mic, because the webcam's not even plugged in. So actually, I don't think there is another mic available for it to be using. So it should be the same hardware mic. I'm not sure if there's a different intrinsic set of filters going on. Like I say, maybe voice meter has a default filter that goes on even when you don't add one. Oh, Crytek ending that spree there. You saw Last with the up close shot going straight back to that shock rifle. Crytek knew it was going there but couldn't get there in time. Crytek running out of time now. I don't know what map this is, but we've got a 7-2 lead for Last. Not sure what the prior result was, but certainly Crytek trying to fight his way back into this one. We've seen some quick sprees happen on Leah, but oh, it makes you so predictable. When you're predictable on this map, you run into rockets, you eat combos like that. Last made him pay, and probably iced it right there because less than 2 minutes to go, up by 6. At this point, Last can pretty much just chill, hang out in the corner, and I don't know, build a card house, something, you know, whatever he's into. Maybe do some sewing. Okay, so Crytek up a map. Well, 10-2, this looks like Lass's map is going to go his direction, and we will see a tiebreaker coming up next. So already, 1 round in, we're going to see our first tiebreaker. The slow motion rocket. Crytek just gonna play this one out. 40 seconds to go. Pretty much decided at this point, but first tiebreaker of the night coming up next. Oh, and there's a parting gift by Last, just feeding Crytek some rockets. Part of your balanced breakfast. I gotta say, this new sub badge for the Luchador cat kind of looks a little bit like a Mardi Gras costume. I don't hate that, but not exactly what I was going for. I might need to tweak that in the future. I feel like you should be wearing that in a thong and just like dancing around with a big like boa on and a bunch of feather fans. So Phantaci versus Liquidus. Phantaci up big on Liquidus. Yeah, I mean, the next round of matches are going to have Killing versus Exitnextright. I mean, I'll see if they want to let me know. I know Exitnextright was in chat a second ago. If someone lets me know if they see that hub up, certainly I don't want to miss that one. Don't see anything up on NYC or Chicago for them for now, so let's stick with this game for now, and we'll just keep an eye out for that one. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Exit in chat right now. You see the updates. Yeah, I mean, Crytek dealing with some ping issues. I mean, anytime you have folks from, you know, essentially, I mean, as far as the globe is concerned, what, a quarter of the way around the planet or something? Like, there's a lot of miles between these two players. Not a whole lot you can really do to fix latency. That said, it is just a fun cup tonight. No money on the line or anything like that. Oof. Over 200 ping. That is rough, honestly. That really limits your movement and your weapon options at that point. Upwards of 120, 130, I think you can kind of adjust and play a similar game to your normal one, but once you get above that, it really changes what you can do. Shout out to DC from the internet, his long-ass Twitch name completely breaking my overlay there. I just noticed that. Yeah, I mean, 200 milliseconds, that's 200 thousandths of a second, so essentially 2/10 of a second. So quite a bit of delay there. Now, I don't know if that's round trip or what. I do know, like, for instance, UT99 calculated ping, I believe, in 2 different ways, right? The return, like, total, like, the return time versus the, you know, I guess the ping versus the pong, if you will. Looks like they're talking about maybe changing hubs. All right, we're gonna back out of this. See, certainly wouldn't mind bringing that tiebreaker to you. But we'll keep an eye out for any other matches as well. I mean, I guess we can take this opportunity while we're here, just to peek at the brackets for anyone who might be kind of joining us late, or just curious where we are. phantaci looks like he's up big on Liquidus, so that should be phantaci win there. Last versus Crytek, going to map 3. Of course, number 4 versus number 5 seed, so pretty good seeding there, I suppose. Killing versus Exitnextright will be coming up next in round 2. So some of our close seedings so far, pretty much all chalk, but the close seedings have been pretty good matchups. So phantaci looks like he's likely to move on and play the winner of Last versus Crytek. Maybe next week we can just play a Mega Blitz game. I think everybody would be down for that. Or we could do another dual comp. Whatever, you know. I'm down for whatever. We don't really have the goofy game types though. I guess we've got things like Small Team Blitz. Like we did that 3v3 Blitz tournament not too long ago, and 3v3, sorry, Assault tournament recently. It was oddly interesting. Like I think on small maps, Assault could actually be kind of interesting if it's built for that and not built for like 7v7 craziness. So there's the Last versus Crytek game going up. phantaci looks like he just locked in his wins. Okay, looks like Exit versus Killing's going up, so we're gonna keep an eye on that last game. But we're gonna, okay, looks like Savage versus DC also going up, so that's gonna be round 1 of the lower bracket there. We're gonna wait though. It looks like we've got winners round 2, Exitnextright versus Killing coming up next. So we're just gonna hang out here for a minute and let them get that up and running. Well, Stinder, I hate to break it to you, but we're all gonna die, buddy. My goal is just to eat as many Doritos as possible before I die. Actually, what I've been working on now, so check this out. So we've got these little molds, just little silicone molds. You know, you can use for whatever, right? We've been using them in the past. We made little like chocolate, like hot chocolate stir things last Christmas. But I had the idea today, now that it's getting hot, make lemon flavored ice cubes out of them to make an iced tea. So I'll be drinking iced tea with Texas shaped lemon flavored ice cubes, and I just can't think of anything more southern than that. So I don't know why that genius thought just popped into my head. That it was like a shower thought, except I was like, you know, covered in my own sweat from the heat versus nice clean shower water. It was a pre-shower thought, because I definitely took a cold shower as soon as the sun went down. What's up, Mike? Asking about how to get into this. This was actually just thrown together. What is the URL? If somebody has it in chat, the UTPugs is utpugs.us. Has the link to the Discord, and it's not like a super secret thing or anything. That's where pickup games are played. That's kind of where some things are organized. In this case, it was a UT World, or the World Duel Cup channel in Discord there, and just some folks hanging out saying, hey, why don't we put together something and see who's interested. So, you know, not the easiest thing to find if you're not kind of hanging out in there, but yeah, definitely feel free to join there. You know, if there's a lot of interest, they might even be able to run multiple cups in a given night. Like I was saying before, like there's weeknights these days, lots of people have free time, so definitely If there's enough interest to maybe have an upper division and a lower division, and we want to run 2 dual cups in a given night, totally down for that. Like, this is all just, you know, just hanging out, kind of giving folks something to do. As it is, whenever they signed up, there was basically, you know, I think it was basically the first 8 people to sign up got in, and then there was a wait list, and I think they did have some shuffling around, like people who could make it and couldn't make it, and you know, people dropped out and people replaced them. So that happens pretty much every event too. So if you do see an event and you know, maybe you're not one of the first 8 to sign up, you can always sign up and get, like, you know, get a wait list spot, because there's always someone who has, you know, a kid's acting up and they're like, the baby's crying, I need to go, you know, I need to take care of him tonight, or like, the girlfriend wants to watch a movie. Like, there's always people who are either willing to give up their spot or just can't make it at the last minute. All right, we've got a little bit of time. Let's see. ut4pugs.us. That's what it is. That's my bad. Yeah, so ut4pugs.us. That is, I mean, I can take you to the browser right now. This is what you're looking for. This is just... sorry there. This is just the page I was talking about. Mostly all you really need to worry about is this join the action button will open a Discord invite to the server. And that's where a lot of this kind of community stuff gets organized. Certainly not the only community Discord server for this community, but that's where this one in particular, it's kind of a hub for a lot of them. All right, so it looks like Killing is taking a quick break. So we're seeing Killing typing in Discord, so it should be ready soon. We'll go take a quick look then, and we'll go peeking at the other games real quick just to see how those scores look. Obviously, Exit versus Killing, kind of a top matchup in this game. So last up 8-1 on Crytek. It looks like about halfway through their tiebreaker match. So last in good shape at least to move on in the upper division bracket. Of course, we do have that lower bracket going on. In fact, there were some matches. So Average versus Killing already looks like it's about to start. So it looks like Solar Race Deep would be the tiebreaker. So Exit getting fancy with the name of the game there, letting us know. So Solo first. Erase second, Deep the tiebreaker. Looking a lot like a UTPL matchup there. Is anybody up on New York City? Doesn't look like it. So that's pretty much all the games going on right now. We will go back to your bracket view. There we go. So you see phantaci over Liquidus, last versus Crytek. Last looks like he's going to move on and face phantaci. And that will send Crytek then down to face Liquidus. That'll actually be a pretty interesting matchup. In losers round 1, again, I believe that's going to be best of 1. So unfortunately for Crytek, of course, ping going to be an issue all night long. But, you know, it's cool to see. It's still cool to see folks from around the world able to even play against each other. All right, heading back into the game. Looks like Killing still not in game. So everyone in Discord right now is suggesting ways to keep Killing regular. If anyone in chat has any ways, I mean, we're talking about, like, you know, getting your protein shakes going, maybe some kale, some spinach. know, it's important. I mean, everyone's kind of indoors right now. Not a lot of movement, right? Peristalsis can start to slow down. You got to keep things moving. Get out and take walks if you can. Maybe jump on the treadmill for a little while. Just got to keep that body moving. That's how you keep the train rolling. Water and fiber, y'all. It's all about it. This has been the most old guy video game banter I've ever seen. Are we officially old now when everyone's talking in Discord? Rather than talking smack to each other, rather than hurling memes and insults or whatever, or even talking about video games, everyone's talking about like eating prunes and putting protein powder in their oatmeal or whatever. Is this where we're at as a community? Harumph. That's all I have to say. That said, if anyone wants to, if anyone can find a protein powder sponsor, maybe some prune sponsorship, there's a brand cereal that wants to sponsor the channel, totally down. Looks like players are ready to go though. So here you go, round 2 of the winners bracket starting here right about now-ish. Here's the countdown, 3, 2, 1. Man, it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here with this fun cup, just a little pop-up cup going on. This is round 2 of the winners bracket, Killing versus Exitnextright. We'll have solo first, then a race, and deep will be the tiebreaker if needed. Oh, the nice pixel perfect sniper shot by Exit, getting the jump on Killing. Killing though, of course. Oh, has been coming up huge all year in duel tournaments. You notice him backing up, grabbing that armor, getting the rocket right to his face and pushing him away from that 50. And that's one of those moves, those experienced moves. Getting the kill and immediately going to cut him off with the next armor. And so Exit right now running around with 31 HP, really nothing to work with. Killing right as he ran out of shock ammo. Did you notice that? Right as he ran out of shock ammo, immediately picks up Exit's shock ammo. Ooh, almost with the mid-air rocket, trying to play Quake. And then ended up right by the shock rifle to pick up more ammo. So Killing already settling into some routes here, only up 2 to 0. But we'll see what can happen. This is an interesting map as far as weapon choice, combat distance, things like that. Exit, you can see, fighting his way up to 125 armor advantage. If he can start a brawl, if he can get into Killing's face, all Killing has right now is finisher weapons and hit scan weapons. Nothing really great at close range. Exit with a big combo takes him down to 58 HP. You can see him now chasing him down, trying to catch him, peeking through over to that 100 armor. Doesn't happen. But Exit finding himself with a bit of an advantage in position for this belt. Oh, the falling combo misses. Oh, he jumps up. The combo by Killing knocks Exit into the wall, where he shoots himself in the face with a rocket. He's got Killing pinned in there, standing in there. Actually, very risky play there. But backs up into that health, and you see him on the run, just trying to get stacked back up. Some semblance of an ability to defend himself. A decent rocket, but just barely misses. That's reminiscent of the rocket Killing hit on him earlier to break this one, to break the tie, rather. Killing got 100 damage off it. Exit only about 40 damage from him. However, able to get back up to 100 health, so great move by Exit. Keeping the distance. Able to heal right back up and ready to challenge for probably not this 100 armor, maybe getting into position with that 50 armor. If he can get that 50, he can maybe challenge for the next belt. He certainly doesn't want to. Ooh, you see Killing getting there and Getting there ahead of time. Oh, he misses the belt. Exit. Stuck in the corner. Got knocked off the belt. Got stuck in the corner underneath. Oh, and that is a fail clip there for Exit. He was in perfect position. You saw him push away Killing. Killing knew he had such a big advantage, though, with health and armor that he could afford to push in there and tank some damage. And that's how he was able to knock Exit off of that belt. Nice flat ball there. And the follow-up combo pushes Exit into the corner. Exit only rolling around with a starter weapon, so he has the sniper out now. So he can defend himself a little bit if he can get turned around, but Killing gets in his face with that link and no way to escape there. You saw Exit there having to turn around to escape, and that's one key thing on this map. Players who are extremely comfortable in this map can navigate it backwards. They can navigate it without having to turn their back on their opponent. That allows you to defend yourself while you're escaping. Makes such a big difference at a high level. Oh, and there's the killing spree. Just about the halfway point in killing right now. Just slowly stacking back up to 130 over 150. Exit does grab that 100 armor. That's going to give him the ability to be a little bit more bold here. But still about a minute until that belt spawns, so got to find a way in. But unlike DC, Killing's going to be a little bit more versatile with his approach. He's pretty skilled, doesn't necessarily favor any one weapon, I don't think. That shock rifle definitely going to do him a lot of good on this map. A lot of mid-range fighting in this map between combos and the shock primary duels. Exit's going to have a hard time creeping his way in there. He might need to hit a couple key peak sniper shots. We saw him do that a little bit earlier in the map. Unfortunately for him, Killing with those rockets has actually come up huge. And again, Exit on the run, just trying to survive. Doesn't want to give up that last shot and any more kills, but unfortunately for him, gonna have to choose when to take risks because Killing has just been owning. Oh, the nice fall away sniper. Doesn't even need to go pick up the health, and that's the key. Killing gets that kill while still extremely stacked. And Exit on the run. You're seeing a lot of just pixel perfect, just peak shock primary shots by Killing, running around, and that seems to be his weapon of choice on this map. That's the weapon that he kind of defaults to having open, which is probably a smart move in a map like this. You want to be able to respond to things very quickly, because this is a map where people can pop in and out of view very quickly. They can close the gap, you can be ambushed, all of a sudden someone's 10 feet away from you. And shock, probably the most versatile weapon in the game for that. And right now, almost up to max health. So that's one thing you're seeing from Killing as well, and from really good players on this map, is running a route that involves picking up vials as well. There's a decent amount of vials on this map, and you can see up to 180 health. That's just as good as picking up armor. I mean, when you're up to 180 health, like they basically have to kill you twice, and that's before adding any armor on top of that. Yeah, I mean, I encourage you to check out utproleague.com. They've got the second division, the lower division, if you will, Challenger Division season is still underway, so a lot of matches still getting played on the weekends. Some people streaming that. I don't know, I might be open to streaming some of that this weekend, just seeing what's going on. I think Toxic Shade's been trying to stream some of it. Different folks. Capture the Flag pickup games have been going on pretty consistently. And, of course, Elimination has kind of been what people have mostly been pubbing. But yeah, Team Deathmatch and Duel in UTPL has been going on. So some teams have been scrimming to get geared up for that. TDM, not the biggest pug game type. It's just hard to plug and play players. But there have been some scrims going on and some people even kind of jumping in and like subbing in for teams so that they can play scrims. But as far as pubbing goes, yeah, you're mostly going to be playing Elimination. And then Rampage now Killing. We'll take a look at the scoreboard, but all Killing, especially the second half of this one. Once he got control of this map, and you can see him 199 over 150, absolute maximum health and armor stack. Killing just running around as a wrecking ball right now, really. And the nice thing about being that stacked too is you can make so many mistakes, right? You can be extra aggressive. You can really do whatever you want, because while that can get erased in a hurry, even if you take a huge combo, even if you take a couple rockets, and even if you take a headshot, you still have so much buffer there and room for error to where you can just back off and defend yourself. Ooh, big combos coming out back and forth. That's the biggest hit we've seen Exit hit Killing with in a while. But like I said, that 150 armor, maxed out health, still has 176 over 7 after taking, over 100 damage. And that is the luxury you get whenever you are firmly in control of this map. Killing looking really, really sharp here tonight. And there is the concession. Map 1 going to Killing. Map 2, I believe, was a race coming up next. Yeah, I mean, TDM, we have seen that. Like I say, UT Pro League focused. For anyone here who doesn't know, UT Pro League is a mixed game type league that we've seen. Season 2 on the Epic, the top division, Epic division, just finished up the other week. I guess we might say lower division, the Challenger division. Still wrapping up, still a few more weeks left of that. I believe they have this weekend off technically for Easter, but is Easter this weekend? I've lost all track of time and space. In any case, you can check out the website, utproleague.com. That's 4v4 TDM, of course, weapons stay off, 2v2 TDM, and duels, all mixed together in each team's matchup. So some interesting things happening there. Of course, as teams kind of have to choose who to throw into which game type and which maps to pick and things like that. Alright, so map 1 going to Killing in convincing fashion. Exit, though, looked pretty good on a race against DC in round 1, so he's going to have a chance to make up ground here in map 2 and try to force a tiebreaker. Here's your countdown. Players are ready. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 jumping in from map 2 here. We are in the winner's bracket. Second round. Killing up 1 map to nothing. Gonna head over to Exit's view and see what he can try to do to jump up and get on top of Killing early. He doesn't want to let Killing front run. We saw what Killing could do on solo when he's got the lead. Just built up a massive health and armor lead and really gave Exit nowhere to go. You see Killing still favoring that shock rifle early on. Wouldn't expect to see much of a change in that. He might pull out more sniper rifle than he had on solo just because there's a little bit more longer range, kind of predictive shots I think that you can maybe put together on a race. However, you will still see some close range fighting, particularly over that shield belt. And that might be where Exit can try to force the issue. If he can get some big rockets, some flat primary shots, maybe even some combos, not Killing off of his routes a little bit. Oh, there's a flat ball to the face though. Killing. Giving Exit a little bit of a kiss. You saw the smiley. Plants a sniper on him. Landing right on that 100 armor. Unfortunately for Killing, Exit does grab that armor first. So he negates it, but he still survives. And Exit now going to be a little bit dangerous. 86 over 74 with a sniper rifle in his hands. Exit does still have an opportunity to fight his way into this one, though Killing does have a decent health and armor lead built up already. I mean, FYI, we are on a 10-second delay here, so if you're trying to watch my stream to find out what your opponent is doing, you're going to be a little bit back in time. I mean, I might give you some good advice, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to help you. Ooh, combo around the corner on Killing and Exit there. These two were kind of playing musical chairs for the last couple minutes, really just looking for that shot. There's a rocket. He's got him up top with the link gun. Oh, smart play there by Killing. So you thought he might go for the frag video kill, right? Like I thought he might go for the mid-air rocket, but when you're in mid-air with that jump pad, you're so predictable. That link gun coming out just absolutely melts people. That was great consistent damage, a smart weapon switch there by Killing. It's so tempting to try to go for the home run and get that big damage and the headshot to follow it up. And all of a sudden, Killing just like that. Up 3-0. He has the ability to just drop spike damage shot after shot so quickly. Exit's trying to stay aggressive to avoid letting Killing get stacked up like he did in map 1 after a couple kills, but you also don't want to jump up too quickly and churn out some kills, or let him churn out some kills as well. Exit though does steal that 100, or still that shield belt up to 150 armor now. Killing still has 100, so a pretty big move there by Exit. You see him typing, why did you give me 2 belts? What's going on? Killing maybe trying to be aggressive, maybe, and again though, this is also a tournament where there's no money on the line. This is all purely for practice. Some players might even be trying out different things, right? Like some people might be trying, okay, what if I just try baiting them into things? What if I try cutting someone off, getting out of my normal routine? I don't know if people are explicitly doing that, but you know, this is a good opportunity to try stuff, right? Maybe players want to practice with a certain weapon. I'm kind of in a live competition setting. So you never know what you're going to see in these kind of tournaments. Ooh, rockets back and forth damage. Getting traded Exit with his first kill on the board in this matchup. We'll head back over to Exitnextright's perspective. There's that grenade. I don't care. I like projectile cam. I know it's useless, and I'm not going to do it in any professional cast. But look at that air rocket by Killing. Killing, of course, also a very prodigious Quake player. Of course, we casted some diabolical matches with him already. But certainly not going to forget about UT and dropping those rockets. I think the single rocket, the primary rocket reflex shot with no charging, none of that business, is coming back. I think that's going to be the comeback play of 2020, is the Quake rockets in UT. Just throwing that one rocket right into someone's face. Because when you charge rockets up, they don't go right down the middle, right? You sort of have to shoot that spray pattern. The single rocket, that 100 damage potential right into someone's grill. I think that's gonna be on the comeback this year. Oh, and there's the rocket bounce. Couldn't follow it up. Killing eats a ton of damage. Stuck down in that health area. Oh, but Exit can't make him pay. He's out of shock ammo, I think. No, he picks some more back up. So Exit now trying to track him down. He had a perfect opportunity there to pluck him out of the sky. Killing gets away somehow. So Killing, perhaps a bit fortunate. Exit still tracking him down. Picked up that 100 armor, so he can be aggressive. And Killing stands in there. Back to the wall. Had to lay down a combo and follows it up with the rocket. Again, Killing finishing off the kill with the rockets. If he misses that one, he probably goes down, and it's a 6-2 game, and Exitnextright's got an advantage. Instead, the big winner there. Exit sneaking in for that belt again, so Killing giving up some belts this game. He's gonna back up to that 100 armor, pull out the sniper, takes damage before the armor, which is actually probably fine for him. So that means he can stack back up to 100 HP and get the full benefit of that armor. Exitnextright now is gonna try to be aggressive. Knows he has the armor advantage, but can he close that gap? Ooh, Killing dove in there with that combo lined up. And nice shock primaries. I think he hit 4 in a row there to take him down. And the mid-air flak primary to shock primary. Exit pulls within 4 with under 4 minutes to go, but he's so low on HP, he's gonna have to back away. Because that Enforcer rushdown can take him down in just a few hits. Ooh, you saw him going for the flak primary. Had it timed, but it's such, like, that spread is so hard to hit from that range consistently. Kind of surprised he didn't shoot a flak ball, but you can see no shock ammo. Couldn't throw a combo out there, and this is not exactly where Killing wants, or excuse me, where Exitnextright wants to be against Killing. Nice defensive sniper shot that actually turns Killing away. If he can follow it up and get a kill out of it. Oh, couldn't connect. And Killing now. Smart move by Killing. You saw him back up and grab that health before re-engaging. So critical. That way he could take 2 sniper shots instead of 1. So smart, knowing that when you're playing against an opponent with a sniper rifle out, you always want to be able to take at least 1 shot without going down, because at any point, that point and click can take you out. I'm pretty sure DC is managing all of the Valorant drops, so you should message yourself and ask for them. Is that even how you pronounce that game's name? Is it Valorant? Valorant? Do you think I would get more viewers if I just changed that to the game? Would that be a dirty move to change my my game from Unreal Tournament to that? And there's the concession. Exitnextright trying to come back, but just couldn't put anything together. Killing looking really, really stingy right now. He is on point tonight. It's gonna be difficult for anyone to challenge him, but anything can happen. We did see him give up a few of those shield belts. Sorry, I'm gonna reset the music here. There we go. Let's see what else is going on. Of course, this is kind of a non-linear cup tonight. We got Crytek up over Liquidus. Of course, we saw Killing taking out Exit. Phantaci versus Last going on. You can see Phantaci up big there. Let's take a quick look at the brackets and see where we're at. So you go, Killing moving on to play winner of Phantaci versus Last. I guess we'll hop into that one. Keep up with that. You see DC beating Savage. Winner of Liquidus versus Crytek going to go on to play Exitnextright. So while we're at it, yeah, let's go check in on Phantaci versus Last. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised Twitch isn't disciplining people who straight up lie about. Okay, maybe not lie. I guess that's a trick, because they're technically being misleading, right? I guess if they have any drops enabled, technically they could put that in their title. Okay, looks like that's the end of a map for Phantaci versus Last. I'm not sure if that was map 1 or 2. You can see Phantaci up. Only a 700 damage is a significant difference, but a 13 frag win with the, you know, quote unquote, only 700 damage difference. So Phantaci, you can tell, definitely owning those shield belts. I mean, Last getting a bunch of 100 armors, so really fairly even on the armors. There we go. So now you're seeing what I'm seeing. But again, just jumping into the end of this game, nothing so much to look at. So it looks like that was either map 1 or map 2. In any case, we do have another map between these two. So whether this is map 2 or map 3, we are going live. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Codex 5. We are here in your winner's bracket. Phantaci versus Last. Map 2, possibly 3. We just saw Phantaci win last map, so he's up by at least 1. And some early aggression here. The bio rifle kill, though, answers right back. Ooh, nice juke there by Last, but Phantaci still able to finish him off and take that lead 2-1 early on in this one. Some super aggressive play. Given the score we saw at the end of map 1, not surprising to see. So this should be a fun one. These guys just plus forwarding, and ooh, there's the aggression. And Last now ties it right back up, and armor in his pocket. He's going to be hunting Wabbit now, looking for Phantaci to make that jump. Oh, and Phantaci does it right as he turns away, so unlucky for Last, but Phantaci jukes him, grabs that 100 armor, and able to stand in here. Oh, the flak. takes Last down to 8 HP, but the last second sniper able to defend himself, and that's a 1 frag lead that could have gone either way. That was a coin toss fight. Last winning it this time, but still only 58 HP, so phantaci's got to know that. If phantaci can track him down with a link gun or something, he might be able to finish him off. Last looking for every bit of armor he can grab. That 25 is going to come in handy. Oh, you see that timing with that combo, just waiting for him to turn that corner. Not quite happening. Ooh, rockets to the grill. Last now going to be in a dangerous spot here. Pulling out the rockets, trying to just maybe even kamikaze, do any amount of damage. phantaci comes away looking pretty good from that one, so ties it up and on the hunt for more. Looking to take that lead up to 150 armor. Last did grab that 100 armor. Smart move coming off that spawn, and now they're just going right at each other. These two players being hyper aggressive. This will not be a chess match. Oh, this will be more like a bar fight. phantaci with the mid-air flak ball. That Smiley eating up Last and giving phantaci the lead. Looks like Crytek over Liquidus in the lower bracket. That just got reported. I believe the winner of that, so I believe Crytek will go on to play DC next, if I'm not mistaken. You can see phantaci just trying to choose his. You know, that actually is a good point to show. Sometimes the smartest thing to do is nothing. phantaci was basically just waiting, trying to listen for Last to make a move and cut him off. Kind of just stood still for a couple seconds, and at times that can be your best move. I like that wall run to land on those vials. Makes things just a little bit quicker when you're scooping up the vials to that armor. Ooh, just misses with that flak ball. You saw him arc it right over onto that armor, but Last heard it coming. Smart move to hesitate, grabbed it. And Last has been doing a good job. He's taken a ton of damage in this game, but he's been escaping and able to soak back up as much health and armor as he can. Trying to stay alive, but now he's going to be eating link gun, and phantaci catches him going up that lift and still has the health and armor advantage, and that's going to be so important. He misses the jump to the armor, but I don't think that's really going to cost him. He's still going to be able to scoop up this 100. 10 seconds till the belt spawns. We'll see if Last goes to grab the small armor, if he tries to zone him out. It looks like he's throwing these combos around, trying to push him away. Don't know if he has the exact timing, but phantaci pops that combo right behind him, takes him out, and a shield belt in his pocket. Now phantaci on a roll, up 4 and every advantage. Has every weapon he needs, and oh, the flak straight into his shins. Instant kill. You can tell Last enjoyed that one. And well, he gives him another favor back by flakballing himself right into the wall. phantaci obviously with the trigger bot. Flak primary up close again. phantaci just, you know, in a map that's normally dominated by the mid-range, the flak primary has come up huge for phantaci. He's even hit some nice direct rockets, so really just placing those projectiles right where Last is going to be kind of reminds me of seeing a good player, a good curse player in UT99 days. You can really predict someone's movement and just ambush them with a flak ball or rockets. Right as I say that, of course, pulling out the hit scan. Last tries to ambush him, but just doesn't have the health. This is looking a lot like that Killing versus Exitnextright game, where phantaci in control of this map, super stacked. Like I say, good players on this map constantly pick up health vials, and just makes it so hard to come back once they get on top of you. So Last trying to drop some combos around corners to catch phantaci, walking into him, but really not a whole lot of options. Pulls out the stinger to try to break him down. Not a bad idea, but unfortunately underestimates how much health just how stacked Fantasy was, and unfortunately for Last, Fantasy also goes straight over to that belt, catches him peeking at the shock rifle, so a little bit too predictable there by Last, and Fantasy now running away with this one. Oh, rockets raining down. So Fantasy last map looked like he took it pretty comfortably, we'll say, and looking pretty good in this one. So I'm not sure if this was map 2 or 3, but in any case, it looks like Fantasy's going to move on to round 3, I believe, of the winners bracket. Ooh, that goose shot just barely missed. So finally, for the first time in a while, Last finds himself in a position where he actually has a health and armor advantage over Fantasy. So Fantasy able to grab some armor, but still 150 for Last. If he can close that gap, he can try to eat into this lead. I don't know if he's going to have time to erase 11 frags. Nice combo sliding in there. But Fantasy staying one step ahead of him. Oh, the close range rocket, so he's got Fantasy pinned in. If he can hit him with one more flag, he can finish him off. Fantasy, you can see, trying to answer with a sniper, just trying to get that headshot to save himself. And Last just cannot connect. Finally throws the rocket up the lift and gets the kill off that back wall splash damage. Still a 10 frag game, but Last may be going for a moral victory here. Trying to throw together a few more kills before time runs out. Remember, this is the winner's bracket, so it is completely conceivable that these two could face each other in the final. Last doesn't want to give up early, wants to maybe build some confidence in case they do face each other later on. But there's a combo ending that run, and there's another one. 2 combos in a row by Fantasy, not giving up anything in this last 2 minutes. Back up by 11, and he will finish this match strong. So there is the sneaky flag primary coming around the corner, nice and quiet. Turn him into Swiss cheese, up to a 12 frag lead. And Fantasy, much like we saw Killing in the prior match, looking really sharp with all his weapons here. You see the long range, hit scan kind of reflex shots. And what I mean by reflex shots, reactive shots. You know, the twitch aim, if you will. While also setting up those combos, also getting rockets to the face. Fantasy's flak has been on point this game, so really looking quite comfortable. Yeah, you can actually type bracket or brackets command in chat, and the bot should answer with the brackets. But yeah, some folks are calling this COVID Cup. You might need to name it COVID Cup 1. I mean, quite frankly, we have no idea how many of these cups we're going to have while we're all kind of on lockdown. Could be quite a few, so. Maybe we should use Roman numerals to make it seem more epic. That way we're up to like COVID Cup 35. It'll be XXXV and just, you know, look a little more important. In any case, Fantasy taking out Last. So catching the end of that first map and the second one there. Give you a quick look at the brackets. So there you go. Fantasy going to face Killing number 1 versus number 2 seed coming up next. Exitnextright going to face Crytek, and Last going to go down to take on DC. Of course, losers bracket going to be best of 1 to try to keep things rolling. So really not a whole lot of time left into this one. We should be done with this one at a very reasonable hour. So props to all the players for showing up and getting in and out of their matches quickly. Fantasy versus Killing, we're going to keep an eye up on that, because that is probably the next one we want to bring you. Again, number 1 versus number 2 seed could very well be a preview of the grand final. Hey, this ain't no quarantine happy hour, right? We're not getting a ratchet up in here. I am, in fact, drinking iced tea. Not even like hard iced tea, just straight up iced tea. So it looks like all of our games are actually down right now while they're reporting all their matches. So I'm just poking around, you know, looking for that Killing versus Fantasy match to go up. All right, actually, it looks like, yeah, they're still getting ready to get that up and running. So I'm actually gonna take just a quick little break. Maybe run to the bathroom, grab some more ice water. I encourage everyone else to do the same. You're gonna wanna get your popcorn and everything ready. We've got Fantasy versus Killing coming up next, and then of course rolling right through. Hopefully we'll bring you the lower bracket final. Or I guess that would be the lower bracket semifinal. Actually, that'll likely be happening during the end of the Killing vs. Fantasy match. So we'll have that, and then we'll have the lower bracket final, and then the grand final, and we'll close things off here. Shouldn't be, but maybe another hour or so if I had to estimate. In any case, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you shortly. All right, we are back. It looks like they are up and running. And there are 3 different... Okay, wait, Fantasy and Killing both have a hub up. We will see which one ends up being the proper one. Alright, looks like we've only got one back up, so we're going to jump into that game. Gotta say, I'm loving these 10-minute duel time limits that we've kind of started using in the past, I don't know, year or two, I guess? Maybe even longer than that, but I remember having these conversations years ago about whether 15 minutes was too long to run along a bit. I think cutting that time by a third really helps a lot, especially when you're trying to get an 8-man duel cup played in one night. When all is said and done, I think we'll be done this in less than 3 hours, which really isn't bad. And upwards of 30 viewers, so appreciate everyone for hanging out here. Again, something that wasn't a big event, not a whole lot of fanfare around it, just kind of having some fun. Glad to have everyone hanging out with us here on just a chill, average school night. Meanwhile, players are ready. Here is your countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here, bringing you winner's bracket. I guess this is the winner's bracket final. Killing versus Phantaci. Already making it this far, so winner will make it to the grand final. Number 1 seed versus number 2 seed. Both players have looked awfully sharp so far. So right off the bat, both players being a little bit careful here. It looks like Killing getting some early damage to negate that 100 armor. Phantaci, you saw. Both players have already scooped up so many health vials, and that's something we've seen them both do all day long. I like to point that out because it's such a differentiator between kind of like good players and, very good players. Phantaci's, rockets there coming up huge already. 2 quick kills on Killing. We saw Killing use those single rockets so effectively earlier on in the day. Killing's been doing this, both players really have been using rockets up close very effectively. Oh, you see him just waiting on that sniper shot and eventually picks up that link gun. So going up a dodge ramp, very similar to what we saw earlier with going up like a jump pad or a lift jump. You're so predictable in the air that link gun is just impossible to get away from. There's the sniper shots, trading damage there, mid-air link again. Phantaci, relentless. The key there is he still had, between health and armor, about 100 total, and he can still combo that ball that got slowed down. Killing defending himself. Oh, and Killing takes out Phantaci when he dives into him. I thought maybe he killed himself. He might have damaged himself with that flak. In any case, Killing comes away with one, and now just trying to escape. He tried to see if he could get the timing on that on the belt. Didn't have timing on it. Phantaci able to bully him off of it. Got a 50 armor now for Killing. He's going to be on the run, trying to put some room between him and Phantaci until he can get a little bit better weapon selection under his belt. Oh, stuck in midair against the shock rifle. Not a good place to be. Nice movement to get away. But Phantaci relentless with the chase down and that sniper rifle, taking him out. Phantaci looking pretty good right now. But only a 4 frag lead and plenty of time left. And there's the headshot, though, chasing down Killing. He does take a good amount of damage in the process, though, so Killing did a decent job of defending himself. So they're pretty much back to even health. So Phantaci has to be a little bit more defensive here. Some damage there by Killing, so they're pretty much even on health and armor right now. Oh, the ambush by Killing takes him out with that shock. And again, back to a 4 frag lead. No spawn kill for Killing. This can come up so big, and again, jumping straight for those vials. Got vials, shock rifle, vials. Such a big route that Killing's able to secure there. Doesn't get an angle on that belt. We saw that happen against Exitnextright, though. Wasn't in position for belt a couple of times when he could have challenged it. Not sure if that's an explicit strategy or if he's just kind of gonna be playing a little bit fast and loose with the time, or with the timings rather. Taking some damage there, having to back away. Phantaci right now has been very aggressive all night long, and it's been paying off because he's been hitting his shots. Bottom line. With a rising combo up the lip, doesn't quite pay off. Takes a little bit of damage, but both players can still eat a couple of shots. Has the sniper shot lined up, was maybe trying to line up the headshot. He really wanted to make sure he hit that shot. It's going to allow him to maybe finish off Killing if he can hit the flak, and he just barely does. With 14 HP left, Killing's right above him, though. We can take him out if he could get in his face. And fortunately for Killing, grabs the link gun and chases him off of that belt. So that was a pretty big turnaround there. Killing spawning right back at him with that link gun. Look at the link primary, melting him down and taking him out with 42 HP. So a couple clutch kills there with the link gun by Killing. Very, very dangerous plays, but worked out in his favor. Down to 40 HP. Gonna have to be careful here. This Phantaci can take him out with one click of the mouse with that sniper rifle. the falling shots traded back and forth. Neither player particularly stacked anymore. You got 10 seconds or so until the belt spawns, and then about 20 until the 100 armor spawns. Killing may have just been chased off of that belt. He's trying to ambush phantaci, but phantaci turns it right back around on him, and now Killing is going to have to struggle to find a way. Does he want to even challenge that belt? Phantaci took it basically on time, so he does have a few seconds until that 100 armor, but I think Fantasy's going to be able to push him off. It's Killing now in a tough spot where he's not going to have any armors to work with, trying to fight his way back into this one. From Phantaci's perspective now, up 5, past the halfway point. He's now in a spot where he can be a little bit more of just a control hog. Just soak up all the resources in the map, get up as big of an armor stack as possible, and just try to soak up resources. Ooh, that shock ball just slightly mistimed by Phantaci. Could have eaten him up with a combo if he had thrown it on the armor instead. Instead, Killing gets away with a clean armor grab. That's going to be huge with that flak ball in his face. Killing now with the aggression with the flak balls, knocks him down to the belt, takes him out with a combo, able to scoop up that belt, and he knows now that 100 armor is attainable because Phantaci took the 100 right after the shield belt last time. So he knows he can zone him off, and he eats a couple combos in the process, but he's still putting himself in between his opponent and the 100 armor. That was the whole goal there. He knew he could take that damage and back up and still have 100 armor left. Does just that. Now he's going to be looking for that quick shot. Oh, there's the headshot. Now he can engage with any weapon he wants. And the full flat primary because no link gun in his arsenal, but still able to get that kill. Only down 3 with 3 minutes to go, and Killing very much within striking distance now. Oh, the rocket knocks him off with that 100 armor. Doesn't cost him a whole lot, but maybe a little bit of time. Doesn't give Phantaci a chance to get over to that 50 armor though, but Phantaci with that nice rocket was able to disrupt Killing's timing. Unfortunately for him, gets caught down low by that belt, and now within 2, Killing knocks him down, takes him out. And now, turning the tables, health and armor stack completely in Killing's favor, and Phantaci gonna be on the run. Now Phantaci has to decide. Oh, he gets taken out by that sniper through the combo, down to a 1 frag game, and Phantaci's gonna have to decide now, like I was saying, whether to try to be aggressive and eat into Killing's control here, or whether to play defensive and try to run away. Right now, neither one seems to be working out for him. Killing coming storming back with a killing spree, ties it up with just over 2 minutes to go. And Killing right now trying to put this one away for himself after a pretty big lead by Phantaci gets erased in the last couple minutes. And there it is, the lead going right back to Killing. Phantaci was front running so long in this one, and Killing just like that fought his way back in, controlled the map. It's all about flipping that map control around. Now Phantaci trying to go for the home run with that flat primary up close. Doesn't happen. Time now gonna be on Killing's side. That clock under 2 minutes to go. Phantaci trying to dive in there and ambush him at the shot, trying to dive back in again, and instead rockets himself in the face, and that may be it. Phantaci had an opportunity there at Killing with the comeback victory in map 1. And you can see, I mean, only about a 300 damage lead for Killing by the end of that one. It was dead even until the last couple minutes when Killing pulled ahead. I mean, you can look at those spawns, or those pickups. The 100 armor pickup 7-7, shield belt 5-3. So looks like they may have to manually set the right map there for some reason, so we'll let them get that sorted out. They're in Chicago, right? Yeah, ASDF, I believe that's the map we're looking for.
Hail to the king, baby.
So that's actually going to be a really good match for anyone looking, you know, to kind of learn, I suppose. That'll be an interesting one to break down. You know, if you're looking to figure out, you know, how do you come back in a match when someone's got control, they basically just traded back and forth. So Killing there, I can't say he's putting on a clinic because it was a very even match, but really, you know, kind of a textbook example of keeping his cool, fighting his way back in it, not giving up, because phantaci had a pretty sizable lead early on. So great job by phantaci jumping out, and great job by Killing coming back. Let's see if we got something like that in map 2. Players are ready. Here is your countdown. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5. Hopefully getting ready for another exciting one. Phantaci jumped out big in map 1. Killing able to come back though in the last couple minutes and take the lead. So Killing's got the 1 map lead here. It is best of 3. Oh, and there is that sniper shot by Killing up early on phantaci. This might be one where phantaci is going to have to break map control from Killing and answer back just like Killing did against phantaci in map 1 and early on. So trades back and forth. We saw this in the last map as well. Ooh, just missing, and the goo comes back. phantaci just missed that combo, instead did 90 damage instead of killing him, and pays for it with the goo shot. Killing running around. The air's not facial, and you saw phantaci there baiting him one way, juking the other. Nice use of the air control there to protect himself and avoid another kill. Killing now on the run. He knows that that Link is going to eat him alive if he lets him get close to him. I'm actually surprised he survived going up that jump pad. So dangerous against the lift, or against the Link, as we've seen already. phantaci loves pulling that out whenever you're in midair. Things are slowing down just a bit, but phantaci, oh, the jump. Killing with the Mario hop right over that rocket and answers with the shock juggles. These two have both been inches away from killing each other so many times. This is one of the most aggressive matches I've seen so far today. Killing right now playing in Matrix mode, just dodging these rockets right on cue. phantaci is an inch away from having 2 more kills on the board with those rockets. So Killing now on the run, trying to get in his face with that flak. phantaci using those rockets defensively this time. So a pretty good move there, just limiting Killing's movement, trying to knock him off, keeping his distance, but Killing, with the heads up play, throws that combo right up. And that's one thing, whenever your opponent has that high ground advantage, when you have that sniper, or excuse me, that shock rifle. Oh, and the headshot though, answering right back with the sniper. But having those combos at your disposal can really flip that advantage in a hurry. Just because the opponent has high ground doesn't necessarily mean you can't fight back. Rocket duel now, and Killing gonna back out of that one. What's no part of a rocket duel. And when he's got a 5-1 lead, I don't blame him. Ooh, he had a combo lined up there. Couldn't hit it. Now he's gonna be on the run, but phantaci's gonna actually scoop up that belt. So Killing had to concede that belt in order to get that 100 armor. You see the game of chicken going on between these two, baiting each other to be the first one around the corner, and phantaci eats a huge combo by Killing. Oh, the midair rocket misses. That's gonna be Enforcer versus Rockets, and phantaci straight up ran out of ammo that fight. So unfortunate for him. phantaci gonna be on the run more. And that's the thing though, if you're Killing, you're gonna stay aggressive because you've already seen phantaci take a big lead early and give it up don't want to do the same thing right back to him. Gotta play until the end of the game. Because a 5 frag lead on ASDF can disappear in a hurry. Oh, mid-air Link. Killing does a great job, though, of bouncing him away with that shock primary. phantaci pulled out that Link and really made it difficult for him. But phantaci again with that armor advantage. Killing's kind of been, I don't want to say on the run, but he's been giving up some armors the last couple minutes. All phantaci really needs is one big shot. It could be another rocket, it could be a combo. Anything that he can pull out to get a damage boost or damage burst on Killing, get that health and armor advantage out there, and he can turn on the aggression. See Killing, they're trying to keep him lined up in the 125, another headshot by Killing coming out clutch. And at this point, Killing, you can see, using that 5-1 lead to his advantage. You can see it's about halfway through this one. He knows phantaci has to stay aggressive, so he's throwing a lot of combos defensively, just right at every choke point, but phantaci doubles back on him, catches him unaware. There's 1 kill on the board. Only down 4 halfway through this one. Plenty of time to go. One more shot. There's the headshot by phantaci to answer right back on Killing. Might have been overkill, but now looking to be aggressive, find him off the spawn, pushes him off of the weapon, and that Link should be able to melt him down into some nice butter. And now, just like that, down to a 2-frag lead. phantaci on the hunt, trying to cut into this lead, and of course, hopefully take it right back. Nice combo up the lift. And Link again taking him down. So hard to get away from the Link, especially when you don't have any real weapons at your disposal. Nice rocket though, catching him again in midair, and the Link again. Now phantaci on a killing spree, answering right back and tying it right back up. These two are just back and forth, all matching the single rocket right to the face. And there you go, lead right back to phantaci. Oh, the mid-air shots, those are the easiest shots he's probably had all game. Doesn't hit him, but hits the follow-up combo, and phantaci now on a run of his own. So now phantaci trying to curve some flak balls, and the way phantaci's been playing today has been hyper aggressive. I don't expect him to let up at all. Killing's gonna have to be careful. He doesn't want to let phantaci put this one away early, up to 175 HP. That's something both players I've pointed out have been so good at all day, is just constantly scooping up health vials to add to their armor. That's gonna allow phantaci to jump right into Killing's face. He can tank 1 or 2 shots, but there's a big combo to turn him away. Nice movement up that jump pad, trying to cut him off. You see, phantaci wants to stay aggressive. The turnaround sniper, 2 in a row. If he can get in his face, he can take him out again, and phantaci extends the lead to 3. Killing was going all in there with the flak, couldn't make the flak ball connect, and phantaci also still has 151 health on top of that. Those health vials coming up so huge. Is that another headshot by Killing? Snipes him down again, takes him down to 65 HP, but unfortunately for Killing, phantaci was right on top of that belt. Kills him right in time to grab it, and now still looking to extend that lead. So phantaci here trying to force a map 3, trying to stay alive in this one. This is winner's bracket final. Winner will go into the grand final. Loser will have to fight their way back into the grand final. You can see phantaci's strategy here, really just trying to keep Killing at bay, at a distance. We'll see what it looks like from Killing's perspective. As he tries to close this gap. He was front running for so long, had a handful of frags up on phantaci, and phantaci just turned it around so quickly. Mid-air flak opportunity, misses the first, lands the second, and scoops up the belt, Killing with a huge turnaround there. An opportunity now, he just mistimed that rocket. And now he's down on health, but grabbing those pickups gonna be huge to shift this momentum around. Only a minute and a half to go though. He's gonna have to take a chance here at some point. He can't stay at a distance. taking the sniper, though. phantaci staying on top of him, being hyper aggressive, and Killing might just be running out of time here. There is the rampage. phantaci probably putting it away that time, right in front of him. And the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game, I feel like phantaci's had over 100 HP the entire time. Like, after getting back on the run of his own to retake the lead, he's just constantly been stacked. So there you go now, back up to a 6 frag lead, but look at that damage, so even between these two. One thing you might look at is another headshot comes out by Killing. We can't see headshots, but I mean, you look at the sniper shots, look at the accuracy. Killing has been on fire with the sniper all day long. You look at the accuracy, still pretty solid for phantaci as well. But of course, phantaci, looking at that scoreboard, 7-2 belts, pretty even on the best, 9-5 50s. And phantaci coming back now and taking the lead in the damage, but really broken wide open in the last few minutes. phantaci just front running at the end there. Got up. In fact, I really think it was the health vials that did it. I mean, honestly, they were fighting over the armors, but phantaci was so stacked when Killing tried to make a comeback. Every time he would win a fight, he would still have extremely high health. phantaci fights his way back in, takes map 2, forcing a map 3 tiebreaker in the winner's bracket finals. So keep in mind, the winner of this one gets to chill out during the lower bracket finals, take a break, grab a beer, grab a water, grab an energy drink, I don't know, whatever they're drinking. Loser has to go fight through the lower bracket, which of course will be a pretty short matchup at this point. I'm not sure how we're doing the grand final either, if it's going to be 2 best of 3s independently, or if we're going to do like a best of 5 where winner's bracket winner has an advantage or something like that. We'll figure that out when we get there. In any case, winner of this match certainly going to have some sort of advantage going to the grand final. Number 1 versus number 2 seed though, so anyone could take this one. And of course, the loser of this one, very, very capable of coming back in the final. And the Duke leading us into this one. Solo is an interesting one. Both players we've seen win on this map so far earlier today. Very interesting to see them play each other. They're both ready. Countdown coming up soon, and we are ready to roll. And here we go, 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 with your winner's bracket final. Map 3 tiebreaker. We've seen both players with big comebacks, just back and forth, just going on runs, basically just streaks back and forth on these players. I feel like if they played both maps forever, I mean, they would still end up basically even. It'd be a run for one player, a comeback for another, another comeback for another. Pretty much dead even between these two in the first couple of maps. It's really going to just be a matter of who can go on that streak at the end and force the other person to run out of time. So early on in this one, we'll see what happens, but again, comebacks both maps, so you really can't be comfortable with any lead in this matchup. Close range rockets by Killing, doing some pretty decent damage, but phantaci relatively stacked. So Killing's gonna abandon that fight, try to get stacked up a little bit more. It's a smart move, trying to grab some health. phantaci already up to 120 over 72, so Killing might actually concede this belt in order to pick up some weapons. He's got a sniper rifle now. Ooh, takes that shot though. Unfortunately for him, phantaci not able to hit the follow-up sniper, and now up that lip is going to be a dangerous jump against the rockets of Killing, but phantaci staying in there, standing in front of him with a combo, doesn't quite hit it. phantaci fully committed to being aggressive here. Oh, rockets back and forth. phantaci's do more damage, and he's going to come up with the lead. And still 140 HP, much like we saw towards the end of the last game. Coming away with the victory and a ton of HP to follow up for another spawn kill. pushing away Killing, so pretty even on HP here. Both players need to be wary of the sniper. phantaci, though, with that 100 armor, going to help him be a little bit more aggressive, as we've still got 10 seconds till this belt spawns. Killing's not going to be able to get around to it. So phantaci now pushes him away, grabs that 25, probably going to have another free grab of that belt. Killing's been conceding that in order to stack back up with the 50, try to get in position for the 100 armor, and get himself some weapons at times as well. Oh, big flak primary coming out by phantaci, taking him out. Rockets and the sniper in mid-air from phantaci. Looking like he's playing some clan arena there. Perhaps some elimination, you know, whatever you want to call that game type. With the weapon combos. And phantaci trying to shoot his way into extending this lead again. From what we saw both maps leading up to this one, either player very capable of a comeback at any time. phantaci cannot be comfortable with any kind of lead. Exit getting fancy with the tri-blend t-shirt. I would show it off. I do have my Land Dodger hoodie. I actually personally really like it in white with just the blue. But there's a couple different options. You got like the blue with the white. You know, various combinations. I would show off my hoodie, but of course it is a bazillion degrees here. I think it got up to 95 today. So I'm sweating in just my in just a tank top right now. We do sell tank tops as well on my merch store. I try to give as many options as possible. Really added the tank top specifically for Fusion. So these two playing a little bit of cat and mouse. I'm actually a little bit surprised. We've been viewing from phantaci's perspective. He's been hyper aggressive all day long. A little bit more methodical in the last couple minutes. I think maybe certainly not to say that he didn't respect Killing before, but certainly maybe, you know, just not wanting to cough up any easy damage. Like, knows what Killing can do. You know, not that it's a secret at this point, but you know, we saw the comebacks from both players on previous maps that I keep alluding to. So, not wanting to give up any big hitters, but there it is, and Killing taking him out with the flak ball and the primary, turning him into gazpacho, and only a 1 frag lead. And that's what phantaci didn't want. Was to get stuck in a one-on-one up-close situation. phantaci, though, knows he has the health advantage. Only so slight, though. Killing, smart move, backing up to that health, and then the fall away, the fade-away sniper from both players just poking at each other. But you can see both players already back up to 90 and 120 health. That is the, you know, the veteran experience on both sides here, taking those shots, and instead of being knocked to their heels, maybe one shot away from death, they just back up. They're immediately stacked up and ready to stand in there and fight again. Oh, the combo by Killing just missed time. The drop of the flak ball at their feet, and another flak ball. Killing's flak ball snipes this game have been absolutely clutch. Fighting his way back into this one so far. Just past the halfway point, and we are all dead even. Let's see what he's looking like on those. 9 shots with the flak and 2 kills from Killing. To give you an idea of his, not so much accuracy, but maybe his efficiency with that weapon. Ooh, the turnaround sniper. You see Killing trying to pick his spots now, right? Like, it's a tie game. We started off phantaci with a bit of a lead. Killing fought his way back in. We're basically back to square one. Oh, phantaci just whizzing a flak ball right by Killing's face. We saw Killing matrixing himself around those rockets on ASDF. Same thing with the flak ball there. phantaci is just an inch away on a couple of these shots, but instead, Killing's flak balls have been landing, finding the mark, fighting his way back into it, and both players now just looking for that big spike damage to then engage. Oh, and Killing down to 73 HP, gets away right onto the 100 armor though, and the big combo behind him to defend himself. That was a smart play there by Killing, getting up to the 100, took the chance, survived the combo, and then sliding away and throwing that shot behind him, able to push phantaci back away and try to angle himself to push him off of this shield belt, maybe baiting him over to those vials. He might actually take him. He finally goes for it. Phantaci waiting for him. Interesting that Phantaci didn't throw a combo at him, just pushed him over with that shot primary. We have the 100 armor up, and we have the belt spawning now with a little bit of a delay to this 100, so 15 seconds to this belt. That will give time for Killing to slide over if he wants. With that drop, though, he may be conceding this belt, so Phantaci may be winning that battle, pushing him away from that belt. You can see him over near Shock Rifle, gonna delay that grab, doesn't want to tell him where he is. Catches him around the corner just a little bit, but Phantaci's still looking reasonably healthy here as we get underneath the 3-minute mark. Phantaci with that shock ammo gonna really help him out a lot. We've seen both players run out of ammo mid-fight a couple of times in this matchup. You don't want that to happen when you're trying to make that big push with under 2 minutes to go, perhaps. These guys look like they're gonna try to stack up a little bit and then meet in the middle. A nice move by Phantaci, sliding back into those vials. They saw Killing soak up some vials on his side. So both players just kind of sinking back into their corner, regrouping and getting ready for a big showdown here. We're under 2 minutes to go. Tiebreaker map in the winner's bracket final. Who will come away with that free ride to the grand final? It could be whoever gets the next kill, because right now both players are so stacked. It's going to take a ton of damage to take either one down. We might see, a headshot come into play. We've had Killing hit multiple headshots so far this matchup. Phantaci with a couple of his own. Flak balls have been huge. Big spike damage there. Oh, up close with the flak. Phantaci had the right weapon out. Killing still had that shock out. Couldn't switch fast enough. Basically a big free spike of damage for Phantaci. He's going to try to chase him down here. Another 100 damage rocket. He eats flak from Killing up close. They're on the run. Both players with less than 20 health. Next shot could win it. And there it is. Phantaci with the peak shot. Only 13 HP. Took the chance. Now he's got to stack right back up. He knows Killing's going to be chasing him down with any weapon he can get his hands on. 100 armor is up. Killing sneaks in and steals it. Smart move there. He can bully Phantaci around the map, and Phantaci with under a minute to go just has to survive. Belt up, and he catches Killing with those rockets. That's going to be absolutely critical. Also grabbing that belt. That could be the play that did it right there. Grabbing the belt, hitting him with those rockets, turning him away, and with 40 seconds to go, Killing's going to have to be hyper aggressive. We'll go from his perspective. Not a whole lot to work with here as far as health and armor. Killing catches him down low. If he can beat him to that lift, he might be able to force a fight. He has to fight here, though. He's got to look for that home run shot with that flak. Can't be too defensive. Phantaci's going to go up for that 100 armor. Dangerous move. Actually, kind of surprised to see Phantaci move forward into that 100 armor. Thought maybe he would just back up and run away to eat time up the clock. Grabbing that armor was huge. Now he's definitely going to have an advantage against Killing. Killing knows he's going to have to get in his face with flak. Can't be careful here. Dodges one way, catches him again the other direction, and Killing juked him there, had his opportunity, but that rocket by Phantaci turned him away and sealed the deal. So really, Phantaci coming up huge. Killing's flak fought him back into the game, and Phantaci's rockets, I think, really came up huge. You saw Killing actually doing slightly more damage. Phantaci coming away, though, with the clutch kills. A couple of very, very close back and forth games between those. Those are going to be some really nice games to go back and watch. Anyone who's trying to kind of, get an idea of how a couple of high-level players will fight their way back into games, how they'll play in different situations. Those are going to be some really interesting maps to watch. Go through that live replay. If people want to see from a tactical perspective when people choose their spots, when to be aggressive. Very close matches there, and possibly a preview of our grand final. Phantaci, though, going to be chilling and going to earn himself a little bit of a break. We'll go check on the brackets just real quick. Not a whole lot to show. Of course, we saw Phantaci taking out Killing. I do see... Looks like Last took out Crytek, and that match is about to be reported. So then we'll have Last versus Killing. So Last fighting his way back through the lower bracket, beating DC and Crytek. Moving into the lower bracket final against Killing. Coming up next, and of course, winner of that will face Phantaci in our grand final. Alright, so Killing versus Last, that game, just looking for that to go up, and we'll be bringing you that. Not actually sure if that's going to be best of 1 or best of 3, but we will find out. Certainly, we will cover them as long as they want to play for us. Just occurred to me that bracket was getting cut off on the screen. There you go. A little bit better view of that. So an exciting winners bracket final there. Again, I definitely encourage people to go back and watch that one. A lot to learn, especially for people who are trying to learn or maybe just up their game in Duel. And we do have our top 3. I guess that's worth mentioning. We've got Phantaci guaranteed top 2. Killing and Last going to be playing in lower bracket final here. They'll obviously be, the loser will be the 3rd place contestant here, if you will. Can we call this one COVID Cup I? Is that what we're gonna do? I'm sure there's gonna be a COVID Cup I at the very least. It also it kind of makes it feel a little more epic, like a Rocky movie, or like the molding on the side of a the molding on the side of a courthouse or something, right? Just looking at my stream stats, right? Has Marcos really given away 105 gift subs? That's kind of insane. That's like the highest number I've ever seen on anybody's stream. So shout out to him. Of course, you can also see now in Twitch chat, they also show you the highest cheerers. And of course, Exitnextright still way in front of everyone there. So shout out to the folks supporting this stream and helping me buy new equipment. Of course, I've got the lights going. Although I don't have my webcam set up, again, I kind of redid my whole stack here, all my equipment. We'll work on the webcam in the future. Of course, I got lights going on. I got the hardware mixer that'll allow me to adjust things a lot easier on the fly. Always trying to up the game, so to speak. And of course, pay the cat tax. So we do actually pay rent for Seamus. So obviously, any money the stream gets goes to trying to cover his rent, as well as occasionally we give him wet food. We normally give him just kind of like, decent but dry food, the kibble stuff. Every once in a while, we try to give him some wet food though, if we've been gone for a while, or if he's been a particularly good cat, which is rare. He's usually kind of a dick. All right, looks like we're jumping right into this one. Last versus Killing. And here is our countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Crytek 5. We have made it to our lower bracket final. Killing versus Last. We're going to go on board with Killing. We just saw a close matchup between him and Phantaci for the winner's bracket final. Back and forth it went. Killing ended up coming up just a little bit short. I feel like if the clock went on forever, they would have been back and forth forever. But as it is, the peak shot around the corner. We've been seeing him taking those shots all day long, lining them up, just kind of swerving around a corner and immediately taking that shot. Nice prediction aim on display there. Killing up early, 1-0. And up 2-0. We've seen the Rockets really come into play today. And I'm not sure if that's a UT Plus thing. We are playing, of course, with UT Plus, slightly different than what we've seen in UTPL's rule sets. If you've been following that league with us. But lots of big rocket play coming out today. Oh, the headshot, though, by Lass. Taking Killing down to 5 HP. Can he close the gap? He's got a stinger in his arsenal. Trying to take him out. I don't know if he realizes how weak he's gotten him, but the shot right up the groinular area. Gonna tie it right back up. So Lass able to tie it up, coming back. Killing, though, already back up to 145 life. So Lass is gonna have a little bit of a hill to climb to take him out again. Catches him around the corner. Nice use of that piston alt fire to slow down that shock ball. And Lass right now finding himself in a tough situation. He's got the low ground, doesn't really have a beat on anything. He finally turns around and gets to that belt a little bit early, but finally has timing on it. Oh, and Killing makes him pay with a rocket. So that belt mostly dissipated already. And Killing gonna jump already over to that 100 armor. So beats him there, takes him out with the rockets, and Killing just continues to be super aggressive with those rockets. So lead back to Killing, but again, anything can happen. We've seen the aggression. Lass, another hyper-aggressive player. We saw phantaci able to stage some comebacks against Killing, so you know he can't be too complacent here. He definitely wants to stay on top of Lass, churn out as many kills as he can while he has that advantage. And that 100 armor gonna really go a long way. He might be able to push him off of this belt. Lass looks like he's getting set up to try to zone him out of it with combos. You can see Lass set up above it. Killing trying to kind of push him around a bit, turns that corner. And Lass that time kind of locked himself back by the 50 armor. I thought he was going to rotate around a belt. Instead, Killing goes all the way around him. And nice move up the lift with the link gun. Lass, though, respawns right in front of him. Denies that belt, does a little bit of damage with that Enforcer, just trying to do as much as possible. And he might actually escape here. So Lass, with the gutsy respawn, grabs the belt, chases him down with the Enforcer, doesn't get the kill, but survives long enough to push Killing away. That said, Killing's going to scoop up everything he can, armor, weapons, health, of course, and then turn that corner. Even gets the yoink right there, pulling him back to him with that link gun. Lass just barely escapes again with 8 HP. So Lass finally goes down. Killing follows the corpse all the way to the grave just to double check. And Killing, as always, very aware of the health vials in this map. Ooh, he's got to be careful. He almost jumped into his own shock ball there, but knocks him off of that 100 armor. You do see that wall behind coming into play. And nice use of the rockets there by Lass to defend himself. We've seen a couple players doing that, throwing them down behind them towards choke points to push people away. Lass hyper aggressive, trying to snag that belt at all costs. Unfortunately, not able to win that fight and back up to a 4-frag lead here. Ooh, Lass, nice move there by Killing, denying that lift. Knew he had that advantage, wanted to force that fight. Takes away the escape and takes him out with that link gun. 5-frag lead with just about 5 minutes to go. Ooh, the sniper shot can't quite thread the needle, but eats a combo. So Lass with big damage, making Killing pay for missing that sniper. Maybe an opportunity for Lass to make a run here. Needs to hit one more big shot, though. Has him up close, jumps right over that rocket, dives right in his face. Only 32 HP for Killing. Lass and Killing, point blank range. Lass finally gets the killing blow there and the shield belt going to him as well. So he's not going to be able to get a follow-up spawn kill. And Killing wisely grabbing armor, but pulling back within 5 and staying within striking distance. Oh, he flaks himself off the wall. Lass back and forth, flaks himself, flaks Killing. Really looking for that big killing blow at the flat. Instead, goes down. Killing only has 39 HP, so he has to be careful. One sniper shot from Lass will take him out here. He has him lined up and can't quite connect. He can still take him out with a shot. Oh, but he couldn't catch him before he grabbed that second bubble, and Killing makes him pay. And the double kill by Killing now, really getting into a groove, and this is when he can run up the score in a hurry, and he might want to do that again, we saw so many comebacks last match in the winners bracket final. You figure Killing doesn't want to take any chances here. If he can go up by 20, he wants to do so. Exit, so anything that goes through Twitch, so whether it's cheers or you know, the bits or the subs, that gets split with Twitch, and that's just the way that they're set up. So just, you know, to be aware, just so everyone should know that that's the way that works. And same thing with Prime subscription. So if you subscribe, obviously anyone who has an Amazon Prime account gets Twitch Prime for free if you link your account. That also gives you a free sub per month to give out to anybody you want. And that gives the streamer the same amount of money as you would with a regular sub. Either way, if you give $5 to them via a sub, Twitch is going to take half. Of course, Twitch is owned by Amazon, so when you get that free Amazon Prime sub, you're basically just giving, you know, $2.50 to the streamer, and then $2.50 you're taking from one pocket of Amazon and putting into another pocket of Amazon. But hey, it's free Amazon money. They have plenty of money, so anyone with an Amazon Prime account should definitely be giving away a free sub every month. I definitely do try to spread the love. You know, you can give it to the same person every week, you give it to whoever you want, but it's free money. Definitely be sure to grab from that pile and throw those dollar bills at whoever, I don't know, whoever entertains you. Ooh, Killing. Again, threading the needle with that sniper, and you can see he's just stayed right on top of last. Killing, trying to put it away and fight his way back into the grand final. I'm sure he would love a rematch with Vicious Fantasy to revenge himself. He may get his opportunity. I'm not actually sure if this is going to be a best of 3 match or a best of 1. This is a lower bracket, but it is the lower bracket final, so I will let the admins answer that one. But as it is, ooh, the answer from last. Under 2 minutes to go, down by 12, but he does still maintain his aggression. A couple big combos bouncing, Killing around, has up close rockets, gets another kill on him. 11 frags in under 2 minutes, very unlikely on this map, but good to see players still fighting hard as we close this one out. Ooh, unfortunately for last, got caught out of position for that belt, so heads up play there by Killing. Circles around, grabs that belt, and I think that's gonna do it as far as the outcome of this map. We'll see if anyone can give us a highlight reel play to close this one out. I mean, I suppose technically as far as donations and things go, like, I haven't ever put up a donation. Oh, last, kills himself. I think if you do a donation directly, like it doesn't go through Twitch's system, so they don't see any of that. Now, you know, obviously it gets still taxed as income and blah, 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 but technically I guess that's the most direct way to donate to people is, you know, through straight to someone's PayPal or whatever. I've had a link on there before. Most people don't seem to do that because it's not very interactive, right? Like, it's fun having the leaderboards and people like gifting subs and doing all that business that people like to do. But again, you're giving up, you know, you're sort of paying a tax on that by doing it through Twitch. Whereas direct donations are 100% to the streamer, but of course you don't get to have those like, you know, the interaction. Like you're not gifting someone a sub so that they have the icons and stuff. So, you know, it's just a trade-off there, right? Yeah, I mean, I do have a premium Snapchat account, and an OnlyFans. That's not true. I haven't used my Snapchat in quite a long time, and I don't think I ever posted anything to stories that would that anyone would want to pay for. So, meanwhile, we saw Killing running away with this one in the end. Last actually doing a decent amount of damage. And it looks like Last leaving the game, so that might have been best of 1. We were doing best of 1 through the lower brackets, as you can see on the lower brackets. But I wasn't sure if loser's bracket was going to be best of 3. It looks like maybe best of 1, given that Last left that, which would leave us with Killing fighting his way back into the grand final with a rematch against Phantaci, which I think is actually going to be fine from everyone's perspective because that was a crazy close game. I'm not sure why Why is challenge giving me a pop-up for Twitch? Anyway, that was weird. Best of one. Okay, cool. So grand final, Phantaci versus Killing, coming up next. So definitely stick around. We just saw a really, really intense matchup between those two in the winners bracket finals. It should be a good one. But yeah, I mean, I can re-add the link to my donations page to my Twitch profile if people think that, you know, they'd want to throw a couple bucks here and there. Like, I have my Twitter on there, but I don't really use my Twitter account. I could replace that with a donation button if people were interested in that kind of thing. But, like I said, typically people don't find that as interactive, right? So I took it off because I was like, people like, you know, people have been donating subs and cheering and stuff. So whatever. I mean, my channel is definitely all about whatever people think is engaging and fun. I mean, people have ideas, definitely let me know. Back up to about 30 viewers, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, given that this is essentially very difficult for anyone who's not in North America to spectate, just given the time of day, and given that we didn't really advertise this in any real way, kind of came up with this just this afternoon. Really cool to see, again, a full bracket, everybody showing up, playing their matches in a timely manner, and everyone hanging out with us and watching some video games. Definitely appreciate you joining us. Ooh, big loud sound. What was the big loud sound? Anonymous with the 10,000 bits. Holy shit, thanks man, that's awesome. Holy crap. Well, there you go folks. Anonymous. So So the anonymous cheerer is knocking Dehumanizer off of that second place spot. You know what, that's actually a good point. There's two things I need to do now. I need to set my crosshair, which I totally forgot to do. You guys can remind me when I forget to do this kind of thing. But again, thanks for the cheers. That's a fat cheer right there. For a weeknight tournament like this, that's really awesome. Really appreciate that. I'm gonna change my crosshair to the green one so that you guys see that a little bit easier. Sorry, I meant to do that a while ago. Again, feel free if I forget to do those kind of things. So let me know. I'm looking for this server to go up, not up yet. Okay, looks like it is up. I'll work on those sounds. Because it looks like the sounds to me should be going through, oh, wait a minute. I think I got it. Yeah, sounds are going to my headphones, but not the stream because I need to choose an output bus for them. And that will go to... Sure. We'll go, well, number 3. There we go. Alright, should have that fixed. See, it's a learning process. This is actually the first time I've casted since setting up all the fancy, you know, voice meter all to my, I have a MIDI hardware mixer that I've got set up now. Appreciate DC with the help and getting that set up. He uses a pretty fancy setup himself, so it was nice having something to reference. Let's move back over to the game. Players are in here. It looks like they are just about ready to go.
Godlike.
Did that test sound go through? I'm not sure if the test widgets actually goes through, but all right, players are ready. Jumping back into this action. Killing versus Phantaci, Grand Finals, Map 1. Yeah, it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here. With the green crosshair, finally. And anything can happen in this matchup. I mean, we saw these two in the winner's bracket final, and just back and forth. Like, really never knew who was going to end up on top. Just trading runs, trading map control. Okay, sweet. I can actually lower the volume very easily on that. So here you go, the early shots back and forth. And Killing with the early kill on Phantaci, though. I almost feel like the early kills in this matchup are a tease. We've seen so many comebacks back and forth between these two. Someone jumps out on top, grabs map control, and you're like, all right, here we go. They're going to go on a run. And they just come right back. So anything can happen. Killing up early on here. Oh, hey, appreciate the bits. Savage, thanks, man. I don't even think I got to... Did we get to stream any of your matches tonight? With the lower bracket final being best of one, that's the downside. We don't really get to stream. It's not like UTPL where we get to stream every single match. But, you know, that's the trade-off for having it be done in a couple hours. So, you know, that it is what it is. Certainly, if we have anyone else that wants to stream, you know, be an alternate stream on any of these cups like this, like, by all means, there's no contracts going, no exclusivity deals. Oh, the mid-air rocket by Phantaci. As soon as I start talking about something random, Phantaci's like, I'm just going to drop a frag video kill in here. Thank you very much. Now we've kind of seen a little bit of a lull here. Both players dropping damage right on each other's faces, going back and forth. Again, not surprising, given how exciting of a winner's bracket final we had. Phantaci's still down by one, but you see him just angling for an advantage, backing up, and you saw what he did there. He kept himself in between Killing in that 100 armor, but now he's backed in a corner. Killing, oh, eats a big flat primary, but still 120 HP. We've seen that all day long. Both of these players so good at stacking up on vials. Just really put the icing on top of that armor so that when someone does erase their armor, they still look pretty healthy here. Phantaci's still pretty safe despite taking a huge amount of damage by Killing in the last 20 seconds or so, but Killing now going to be on a hunt, trying to chase him down and extend this lead again. Ooh, two quick pings from across the map by Killing puts Phantaci on the run. This is the lowest Phantaci's been in a while. But just like that, already you see Phantaci back up to 105 over 20. That said, Killing now kind of wheeling him down. Big rockets by Phantaci. This is what we saw though. Oh, and some sniper shots by Phantaci going to turn Killing away. Nice defensive moves there by Phantaci. Was pinned back over by the 100 armor. Hit some critical shots. Now Phantaci's going to have a chance to be aggressive, try to track down Killing and tie it back up. But we've seen defensive rockets by Phantaci be so important in his last few matches. We'll see if he can make that work here. He's still got plenty of time, so no need to be overly aggressive. Both players just looking for an opportunity to engage. They want to get that first shot. That could be it, but Killing. Grabbing that 100 armor is so important. Took the damage, grabbed the armor, basically erased that shot that Phantaci hit. Now Phantaci's looking to try to even it out in the headshot by Killing. How many headshots have we seen today by Killing? I think that's 5 or 6 at this point. This time gets him a kill and puts Phantaci right back down to square one. Flacks himself in the face a little bit for, just to keep the playing field even. Oh, the mid-air shock juggles. We've seen a couple people miss those so far today. Those are the easiest shots because your trajectory is so predictable. This time, Killing throwing 90 damage down range. Still a little over half of the time, I should say, left to go. So tons of time for Phantaci. Again, no need to be hyper aggressive. We've seen both of these players put together 3, 4, 5 kills so quickly in their winner's bracket final game. No reason to be super risky here, but Killing, other than shock ammo, is completely stocked on weapons. Oh, the 3 rockets catches him in midair. Gutsy play by Killing. Turns that corner. Phantaci couldn't catch him with the combo. Killing stands and delivers. 3 frag lead and on the hunt looking for 4. Ooh, the running sniper shot just missed. Killing almost had another headshot there. phantaci's doing a decent job here of keeping his distance, trying to stack back up. That's kind of the thing, like when you go back to spawn, not only are you down a frag, but restarting from scratch with no weapons, no armor, nothing. It takes a little bit of time to just get yourself back into fighting shape. Nice mid-air flat primary by phantaci there. Takes a ton of damage, down to 8 HP. Dangerous jump up there. He's going all in against Killing on that 100 armor. Dangerous play by phantaci. Killing though goes down. phantaci makes it work and back up to 73 HP. So phantaci takes a huge risk there. Comes out ahead, up close with that flag again with the mid-air flag. phantaci somehow making this work, down to 18 HP, looking for the kill though off the spawn. And there it is with the headshot. phantaci playing with fire and winning, only down by 1 now. Oh, nice move with that piston midair, and now we're seeing Killing in the position phantaci was a couple minutes ago. Trying to get stocked back up so he can fight his way back into it. Just misses with that goo. We've seen goo come into play earlier in the day. It's not just a gimmick shot there, but phantaci keeps his composure, juggles him around, and most importantly takes 0 damage in that fight. Ties it up and looking for more as we approach the 3-minute mark, and these two have not disappointed all day long with the close matches back and forth. I would say we're hoping for overtime, but I feel like we're basically in overtime as it is. Under 3 minutes to go. And either player could still take this one, but phantaci looking in good shape with his armor. Picks up some ammo, and I think that actually may be key. Picks up that rocket ammo. We've seen some key rockets from phantaci pushing Killing away and getting kills. We see shock ammo being fought over. Oh, he misses the combo there. That would have been a huge combo. And he takes the brunt of that flak ball, and that was a huge exchange now. phantaci's gonna have to get back. Takes a combo from below, just trying to slide behind that cover, and Killing gonna be in his face with that link gun. Rocket's doing a ton of damage. It might actually keep phantaci alive here. Again, Rocket's coming up huge. He's out of rocket ammo, but he was able to turn him away long enough to at the very least get some health under his belt. Killing now has to know he's got the health and armor advantage. He's going to be looking to follow up and get a kill. Under 2 minutes to go. Belt spawn goes to Killing, or excuse me, goes to phantaci, I believe. But Killing still going to be a bit of an advantage with his arsenal. Trading shots back and forth. Both players can take a couple shots here. But will they decide to be aggressive? Ooh, the prediction combo by Killing just missed. You saw him looking left. phantaci went right, and now phantaci's up top scooping up vials. That was a little bit of downtime there as Killing looked for that shot and missed it. That cost him essentially the amount of time that phantaci was able to scoop up those extra vials. But that's still about a 50 HP lead there that phantaci was able to dig out of that. Exchanging shots, and look at that, dead even between these two. A minute left to go. Killing's gonna back up. Maybe concede this belt, or is he just gonna scoop up the 50 first? Looks like he's gonna be up top with rockets up close. phantaci with rockets. We're gonna see a rocket duel here. Oh, but that sniper comes out huge. phantaci down to 11 HP. Killing now with tons of armor, had phantaci down to 11 health, and there's the finishing blow with that sniper, looking for the follow-up to put it away. So he pushes Killing pushes phantaci off of those weapons. You see Rocket and Shock, key weapons, steps away from each other. phantaci ambushes him with Link, but look at that armor on Killing. It's gonna be so hard to link him down. Only 20 seconds to go. phantaci's gonna have to grab a bigger damage weapon. We'll go on board with him. You see him looking for that combo. No rockets at his disposal that have been so key for him. And Killing just running away, and phantaci looking for that combo. Missed a couple opportunities, and that's gonna do it. Killing stays alive, and another nail biter between these two. So Phantaci with almost one of the most dramatic comebacks I think we've seen, certainly in a long time. That would have been nutty with some of the kills he was able to pull out, but in the end, Killing hangs on. You can see pretty dominant with the armor advantage and a little bit more damage, but just these two, you almost don't even look at the scoreboard. It's just been dead even all night long. So map 1 going to Killing, finding his way up from the loser's bracket. It looks like he's gonna have to win 2 best of 3s based on the way the bracket's set up. So map 1 going to Killing, still needs 3 more map wins to win this thing. Phantaci can win the next 2 and ice it, but we'll see what happens. Deep gonna come out now. First time we've seen that today. And the first time we've seen these two play on it, so no prior results from earlier in the day to look at for these. Be very interesting to see who is more comfortable on this map.
Hail to the king, baby.
Of course, hail to the king. Duke Nukem, of course, after he retired, became a meteorologist. Specializing in mesocyclones. All right, here we are. Killing versus Phantaci, map 2 of the grand final here. Here is your countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Crytek 5 bringing you another good one between Phantaci and Killing. Their winner bracket final match was absolutely epic, and we're getting off to a good start in the grand final. Phantaci almost with an amazing comeback on Killing. Killing manages to hold on. Now Killing looking to force another best of 3 to win it all. Phantaci trying to extend this one. Remember, he did win that winner's bracket final, so we'll have an advantage here going into this one. Killing though up 1-0 early on. These two did not play deep so far yet tonight, so very curious to see how this one goes. Combos back and forth. Killing in his face with flak. Big shot up close. Has to dodge those rockets though, and both players can go down in one big shot. Deep is one of those maps you can keep your distance to a certain extent, but when you're fighting around the 100 armor and that shield belt, you've got close range, flak and rockets in play, and of course you can also get knocked off the map in both locations. Gotta be careful. Flak and rockets can certainly be huge there. And of course shooting combos through all of those vents and windows and just holes. There's so many gaps in this map where you can take shots. Map knowledge is so important on this one, even more so because of those little peek shots you can take. And close range sniper by Phantaci, a bit of a change of pace for him. Able to get the kill though, and now he's in his grill with flak, and there's another flak ball. Phantaci's actually been doing probably better with close to mid-range flak balls than his flak primary today. It's been working out for him. We've seen him hit some mid-air flak balls up close. It's an instant 100 damage. He has been making it work. And taking the lead right back early on. But of course, the way these two have been playing all night, I mean, who knows at this point. See Phantaci with that piston out, ready to defend himself against any shots Killing can take at him. Killing gonna basically concede that belt. Takes that 25, but Killing right now not in position to grab this 100 armor. So that's an interesting move though. Phantaci trying to ambush him down low, giving up the access to the armor to try to get the kill. But that was a smart play by Phantaci. He still kept his back to that lift. So really the whole time, Phantaci was still in between Killing and that 100 armor. Knew he could back up into it. A very low risk, high reward play there by Phantaci. Ooh, nobody can connect here as they meet in the middle. They're gonna back up. We do have 100 armor vest spawning in 5 seconds, and 10 seconds after that will be the vest. So whoever grabs the first can certainly circle around to the other. Vest goes to Phantaci. He's gonna be making a beeline straight over to that belt. Killing up top, trying to ambush him with that flak. He has pretty high health, but I don't know if he's gonna want to stand in there. Ooh, almost a huge combo by Phantaci. Can't quite connect it. Only 45 damage. The nice flak ball to sniper combo though Big spike damage and Killing down to 100 HP, and he's going to be on the run, down to 56. One sniper can take him down. Can phantaci connect? Extend this lead. Pulls out the Link, and it's so hard to escape Link from those tiny... There's a couple of spots from this map where they're not really dead ends, but they're kind of little alcoves. If you get trapped in there against Link, maybe even Flak, it's just so hard to escape. Unfortunately for Killing, got pinned in there. Smart play by phantaci to pull out that finisher and extend that lead, but he's going to give up that 100 armor in the process. Looks like he's maybe trying to scoop up weapons. Worried more about denying weapons than the armor. Killing did manage to grab a shock rifle though, so we'll see if he can make good use of that. Ooh, almost big time combo on phantaci, but skirts the damage, takes it for the second one. Only 63 over 150, so phantaci deciding to go all in here and be aggressive, facing Link versus Link. He's got to be careful though. If phantaci takes one big shot, he will go down. Killing down to 21 HP himself and gets the kill with the flak snipe. So phantaci perhaps getting a bit lucky there. Very risky play. Knew he had Killing weak, but he was also extremely weak himself, and that sniper shot comes just a little bit late. The follow-up primary though, phantaci right now is on fire. And there's that killing spree, so 5 kills in a row to answer Killing's early lead. And phantaci halfway through this one, looking to finish strong. Of course, we've seen comebacks back and forth with these players on virtually every map so far. You see that shield belt domination though by phantaci, really indicative of how well he's controlled this map. As we get into the deep techno, or I guess deep house portion of our UT99 playlist. Nice track to groove to as we close this one out late night. Fidget games all in your face, y'all. We're 5-1, phantaci on top of Killing. Oh, but the big flat primary turns him away. 25 HP, gets the kill, but here's the chase down. Oh, and he still goes down. phantaci keeping those rockets out, and those have been a lifesaver so many times in this matchup. Flak balls and rockets have been a huge game changer for phantaci in keeping people at bay and getting big spike damage. Killing answers back with a rocket of his own, but phantaci gets away because of that extra armor. Oh, and phantaci tries to go for the ring out. You saw him with the shock primary trying to push him off the map. Would have been an instant kill instead. Killing dives for that belt, gets it. Let's go on board with Killing. He's going to be trying to be aggressive here to fight his way back into this one. He's got, well, he had an armor stack. phantaci melted that. And phantaci showing some really great map knowledge here. That's what you see with, like, the map knowledge leads to the prediction. The prediction leads to those combos and rockets, and that's what's been hitting Killing from every angle so far this map. Killing standing up close with that flak. But phantaci's been winning those battles, those close range fights this map with the rockets and flak against each other. I think that's been the difference so far. We've seen a couple fights where both players are down under 50 HP. And Killing just seems to be one shot away. There's a big 87 damage flak ball right on the lift. So a smart play by Killing, but fortunately for him, still low on health. Nice move to grab that 50 armor. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the shield belt in time to contest it though, and that's going to be a problem. We're under 3 minutes to go, and Killing just looking for a spot here. Maybe get into phantaci's face and hit a big flak. Oh, there's the combo up through the grate. Killing tried to answer with the flak ball. Again, there's so many places to shoot through. Little peak spots in this map. And that's when map knowledge again comes into play. Getting that free damage that can't be retaliated against is so key. Killing looking for an opportunity, maybe looking for another headshot. He's had so many today. And there it is, a headshot by Killing right in front of him. Oh, but phantaci takes himself out, so a little bit of scorched earth there with the flak. Both players reset. phantaci wins the foot race to the 100 armor. A bit of damage from that enforcer. phantaci knows he has the armor advantage, goes right for the kill. And a smart play by phantaci resets Killing, puts him up 8-1, and after hitting that clutch headshot, and unfortunate series of events for Killing. Can't come out on top. And Phantaci relentless with the chase down. Killing does get the kill finally, but he's gonna go back down to that shock, and I think that's gonna do it. So Phantaci gonna hold on with the 90 seconds left. You can see though, this map, probably the most one-sided map we've seen either player take between these two so far today. So Phantaci, you can see, trying to close this one off strong. I figure if you're Killing, maybe you're just trying to keep your aim sharp, because again, Killing took map 1. So we're gonna see a map 3 tiebreaker coming up next, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe the structure of this tournament is such that if Killing wins the next map, that will force a reset, and then we'll have another best of 3 to find our grand finals winner. Killing answering back with some rockets of his own. Pulling back with N5, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit late for the comeback. But again, a map 3, at the very least, one more map guaranteed between these two. So Killing wants to stay sharp, even if time's running low. So pulling back with N4, maybe going to try to hunt him down for one more kill heading into map 3. Oh, big combo coming through. Up close, and there is that flat primary, and that's what Killing was looking for all game long, trying to get up close to Phantaci, win a flat fight for once. It just couldn't make it happen until the end there. I think if he'd been able to do that towards the middle of the game, close that gap, I think, you know, maybe he has a chance to take this one. But credit Phantaci for pushing him around, mostly with rockets. A huge rockets, I guess, night for Phantaci, really, all game long, or all night long in all his matches. Able to run away with this one. Hold Killing at bay. And now we are on to map 3, the tiebreaker for the first best of 3. If Phantaci can take map 3 here, he will be our Quick Cup champion. If Killing can win, I believe he'll force a reset and another best of 3 to finish it off. We'll find out coming up next. Yeah, as Exit said, these two have just been back and forth all night. I mean, I feel like these two could play 100 matches tonight, and it might end up 50-50, but certainly it would end up dead even between the two. I feel like it would end up like 1,000 kills to 1,000 kills.
Hail to the king, baby.
That was interesting to see Phantaci taking deep. Somewhat, that's probably as close to as confident as of a victory as we've seen so far. I mean, he was pretty much front running the whole time, held Killing at bay. That was probably, I don't want to say it was an easy victory by any means. But he looked very confident on that map, so I'd be very curious if Killing does take this one and force a reset, if he thinks about banning that map in the next best of 3. Something to think about. But in any case, we do still have this match first and foremost. Phantaci with a chance to put it away, Killing to force a reset. Here's your countdown, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connects 5 in our grand final map 3 between Killing and Phantaci. Killing coming out of the lower bracket. Phantaci, your winner's bracket winner. If Phantaci can win this whole thing with a map win here, Killing forcing a reset if he can pull it out. Every match between these two has been dead even, so no telling what's gonna happen here. Oh, but the headshot by Phantaci. Killing's been hitting headshots all friggin' day. Well, I'll say day and night, I suppose. Phantaci finally answering back with one of his own close range flak. Eats a ton of link damage. Looking for that combo, finally gets the big hit. Doesn't have the link gun out, but finishes him with flak. We've seen Phantaci flak snipe for a couple of kills already tonight. Working out in his favor. It seems like everything Phantaci does with that flak cannon has just been working out. Oh, and there's the big flak primary. So he gives up the belt, but Killing with another, oh, 2 big shots. The combo and the sniper, Killing down to 3 HP. Phantaci's gonna back up. He knows he's gonna have him on the run. He goes down to 30 HP. Both players been beating each other down. One big shot can kill either one. Phantaci looking for those files. He might just decide to wait on them. There they are. Yeah, Phantaci, you gotta watch out for La Chancla. That is the X factor in a match. Whenever you have that sandal flying across the room at your head, not much you can do. Ooh, trying to get that weapon combo. Can't hit the shot. Big rocket though. And Phantaci again comes up huge with the rockets. Trying to chase him down with the Link does. And with 20 HP, Phantaci with a big rocket. Grabbing that belt. Not only surviving, but turning it into a kill. And that was a huge turnaround there. If that rocket even does half damage, I think Killing probably gets the kill there. Phantaci goes down, doesn't get the belt, and who knows what happens there. But instead, Phantaci stays aggressive, hits that clutch rocket shot, and Killing there actually pistons himself, going to -1. And this is one of those mind games. Going into the negatives can really hurt your morale in a matchup. Even if it's like 1 to -1, it feels so much worse than being down 2-1, or 2-0, I should say. So 5-0 versus 4 to -1. It's going to be a mental game for Killing to get himself back in. Of course, Killing has played plenty of competitions, no stranger to having to fight his way back into matches. We'll see what he can do here, though, to keep his head in this game. Despite Phantaci, again, with the big rockets. Now, this time he does turn him away, so Killing with some rockets of his own doesn't do a ton of damage to Phantaci, but enough to turn him away from that belt and grab it for himself. So that was actually another big victory there, this time for Killing, even though it didn't involve an actual, point on the board. Oh, and the sniper shot, the peak shot by Killing. That's, I think, an advantage for Killing on this map. His pure sniping ability, I think, can really turn Phantaci away if he can get that opportunity. But Phantaci's been defending himself with rockets very well, and of course the flak coming out as well. Ooh, big combo this time, so Phantaci just making every weapon work for him. Turning Killing away, and now down to 36 HP. Killing really wanted that combo, sitting there despite having a disadvantage, took some damage, and now he's going to be hunted down by Phantaci, trying to stay alive. Trying to just look for an opportunity to get a big shot, and there's a big combo. Phantaci on a killing spree, but did take some damage. With that killing spree now, gonna put him up 5 to -1, and a nice patient sniper shot, and the flat ball. Looking for the follow-up kill. Has that Link out, and all he has to do is turn that corner. Gonna catch him peeking at those health files, or those health packs. Can't quite catch him though. And Killing doing a nice job of escaping there. Probably should have gone down. Another big combo though, so it just seems like right now Phantaci's landing all of his shots, sending Killing packing, but now Killing answers right back, and Phantaci down to 32 HP himself. There's just been so much damage output so fast with these two players. Phantaci that time with a patient combo. Halfway through this one, up by 7. He knows Killing has to be aggressive. And this is where Phantaci can take advantage of that. You're forcing your opponent to take risky plays to try to cut into that lead. It means you can bait them into combos, bait them into rockets. We've seen that all night long from Phantaci. Killing trying to defend himself and get something going. It's going to be very difficult though, with Phantaci really running this map, keeping him at bay, and that clock, of course, ticking down bit by bit. Every one of these combos that Phantaci hits, if nothing else, it costs Killing time. Killing can't just charge in there with 38 HP. He's got to go stack back up, get some health and armor, wait for an opportunity, and then try one more chance. Oh, Phantaci missing his wall run, ends up falling down and getting the sniper shot up the ledge anyway. So ends up actually being the best mistake he's made. Doesn't get a kill, but again, every big shot like that Phantaci hits takes more time off the clock. This Killing cannot afford to be aggressive with 18 health. Probably not even gonna challenge this 100 armor. He might go back for that belt. Oh, Phantaci with the bait. You saw him with the wall dodge there, trying to make Killing look towards that 100 armor. Do-si-dos. And these two exchange sides there. So Killing actually only gets 100 out of that. Phantaci with an untouched belt. Killing's still trying to get up to 100 HP. Just been fighting back. Again, you saw the rockets, you saw the sniper shots, and Killing's still taking about a minute ago he took that damage. He's still trying to fight his way back and recover. So if you're Fantasy, that's all you have to do really is to keep him at bay. Just keep taking those shots, just keep damage him like that. Another sniper shot, and he can try to finish him off, but all he really has to do is just keep him running away. That sniper shot, or those 2 sniper shots alone are probably going to take off a good, 30 seconds off the clock while Killing tries to get back up to health. So Fantasy right now looking very strong, finishing the night off confident at this point, up by 9, under 3 minutes to go. You don't want to call anything too early on this map. This is a very small map. You can cut down leads very quickly, but Fantasy right now has really put himself in good position to take 2 maps in a row from Killing, something not a lot of people can do. Take a quick look at the scoreboard to compare. Killing actually takes him out, right as I do that, of course. We'll go on board with Killing and see what he can do. He needs 8 frags in 2.5 minutes. It's not impossible on this map. It's just very, very risky. He really has to go all out on another headshot by Killing. He's thrown out so many clutch headshots today. Looking for that double kill, can't get it. Of course, Fantasy, very experienced. He knows where not to spawn. He's not going to spawn right in front of him at rockets. But it's a smart move not to let him grab those rockets right off the spawn. They've been so key for Fantasy so far today. Killing, just looking for an angle, maybe baiting him down onto the rockets. Not going to work. Fantasy wisely just grabs that 100 armor and nopes out of there. Under 2 minutes to go. All Fantasy has to do here is survive. He's not too worried about getting kills and Killing there, taking that damage. And that's what Fantasy's been so good at all night long, is doing that turn away damage. That defensive shots to push Killing away and just take time off that clock. Very nice example of front running here by Fantasy. Taking safe shots, getting that damage, really hitting some clutch snipers. I don't know what accuracy Killing shooting, 43%, or excuse me, Fantasy shooting 43%, and the clutch headshot to put it away. There's your exclamation point. So Fantasy gonna come away with the victory in this COVID Cup I. A really impressive win here, coming back down that first map, couldn't quite stage the comeback. Killing was able to hold on to it, looked very confident on deep, and looking really, really good on this map as well. So congrats to Fantasy. Looks like he's gonna take this one. Killing, of course, gonna finish 2nd place. And a really strong showing from him. I believe we had last and 3rd. And you can check out the brackets if you hit the exclamation point bracket or exclamation point brackets command in chat. That'll link you straight up there, just the challenge link. Oh, the mid-air, the slow motion shock ball combo gonna take him out. That will ice it, and Fantasy gonna be your winner. So nice showing by Fantasy there, but so we're gonna pop out and take a quick look if I can properly exit. There we go. Give you another look at the final brackets here. Of course, Fantasy coming back from down a map in the grand finals to take it. Shout out to everyone. You saw the 8 players in the cup. Again, this was something we kind of organized at the last minute. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get stuff like this going again. I mean, like I say, lots of folks have some free time on weeknights these days, so maybe something will get going again. In any case, keep an eye out. You can go to ut4pugs.us has a link to the Discord server for anyone who's not in there. Keep an eye on Discord there. That's kind of the main, hub, if you will. So keep an eye out for any of that going on in the future. We'll try to get the word out a little bit earlier, I suppose, if we get something ongoing. I don't know if people want to do it on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights or whatever the case may be, but we're all just hanging out, playing video games. talking loudly about them for hours on end. That's my job. Unfortunately, nobody else streaming UT right now. I was looking to see. I know we've had some really kind of, to me, seemingly random people streaming UT lately. I was gonna go ahead and do a raid. I never get to raid or host anybody, but we'll go ahead and call it there then. Big shout outs to everyone. Again, thanks everyone for hanging out and watching. I know it's late for anyone in Euroland. Hopefully they joined us tomorrow morning and watched the hub. Excuse me, the VOD. Definitely shout outs to everyone for making this happen. Congrats to the winners, congrats to the losers, congrats to the viewers. But yeah, again, thanks to all the players for showing up, keeping this one moving quickly. Thanks for the admins for running it. Thanks for the viewers for hanging out. Thanks everybody who threw out some cheers, some bits. Saw some subs coming out there, saw a t-shirt sale. Appreciate that. I actually like making t-shirts. It's just sort of a hobby of mine. And so, you know, if I keep coming up with designs, if people want to buy new shirts, like I can actually keep throwing up more designs, and I can even fancify, you know, get like a Shopify account or something that's a little bit fancier, if that's a thing that ends up, you know, becoming something people are interested in. But anyway, always trying to improve my stream. So thanks everyone here for the feedback. Of course, like I say, you know, rebuilt my audio stack for this one. So thanks everyone for helping me get that back in order and all the notes on that. And otherwise, yeah, be good, everyone be safe, and we'll see you next time.